Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920 and it's time for the console war. And tonight's console war is a special crossover with one of my other web series. Yes folks, tonight in episode 4, I'm talking about the Fanboys. Yes, this is a special Fanboy Chronicles edition of the console war. See, a lot of people wanted me to do Fanboy Chronicles videos for the longest time on the Microsoft fanboys, the Sony fanboys, and the Nintendo fanboys. But you know what? Since all three groups are almost identical, similar to how the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 are almost identical, I decided to say, fuck it, I'm going to mash all three groups together because there's no point in wasting 3 videos on this. So yeah, let's start, shall we? Let's start with Nintendo's fanboys. Yes, there are fanboys out there. Most of them will say, no matter what happens, the Wii is the best system out there because it's the most revolutionary. Because it has Wii motion technology. Okay, I'm going to say this right now. Okay, Nintendo's finally mastered exactly how the Power Glove should have fucking worked, okay? That doesn't mean you have to shoehorn it into every single fucking game, okay? Punch-Out is a pain in the ass when you're using the Wiimote and the Nunchuck. You're going to wind up using the classic control setting, at which point you just wasted $50 on something you could have spent $5 on the virtual console. You're getting the exact same game. Speaking of that, I actually did buy a copy of Punch-Out, and at $50 the game is grossly overpriced. This thing should have been a budget title without question. Should have been a $20 title at best, okay? I'm going to say that right now. Now I know I'm going to get a ton of hate mail, because there's a lot of people who seem to fucking adore that goddamn game, and I don't know why. I really don't. But, moving on. Nintendo also, the fanboys, they love to fucking try to say that, you know, their fucking system is the best, because it has Mario, it has Link, it has Samus, yes, it has Zelda, Mario, Metroid. You know what? The CDI had Mario and Zelda, and that system was a piece of shit. And the games on it were total garbage. So that argument is completely flawed. And Metroid really hasn't put out a good game in years. Because frankly, these fucking Metroid Prime games suck, with the exception of Metroid Prime Pinball. Anyway, and of course Zelda, it's been the exact same fucking game since Ocarina of Time, and all of Mario's 3D outings have been just Super Mario 64, only with souped up graphics, and in the instance of the last game, in space. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. Yeah, but see, that's all that Nintendo has to offer. That is all that the fanboys can bring to the table, is all of the mascots. But they don't bother to mention, folks, that there are a lot of properties which Nintendo owns, but they've never utilized. Or they have never utilized properly. Folks, it has taken years for a good Fire Emblem game to come out on the DS. Yeah. And what about on the Wii? The Wii has 1. The GameCube had, I believe, 1. The GBA had 1. Folks, there's 16 games in that goddamn series, if I'm not mistaken. Why the fuck don't we have more of those? Same thing can also be said for Earthbound and Kirby. These are 2 franchises which Nintendo has sat on, and the fanboys are not, clamoring at the gates going, I want a Fire Emblem game! No. They're going, I want another Zelda title, man! I gotta have a Mario game. No, you don't. You don't need a Mario game. Alright? They have put out the same motherfucking game 3 times now, and they've already announced a 4th. So guess what? Fuck you. I say we take Mario out back, we shoot him right in the head, right next to Sonic. Now, on to the next system. Microsoft. Yes, the Xbox 360 fanboys. These people, for some reason, think that their system is the most supreme system ever made, even though it dies so easily. Of course, if you mention that to them, they will piss blood and rage, because you're not supposed to mention that. You aren't supposed to talk to them about the Red Ring. That seems to be this big criminal offense to them, because they have nothing to defend that with, except, yeah, well, Microsoft will fix it for free. Well, they had damn sure better, because if they are putting out defective systems, they are almost obligated to fucking fix it for free. Okay? Now, they also say that Halo 3 and Gears of War are the greatest games ever made, even though they're almost identical. Because they're both shooters, they both have an almost identical plot. The only difference is that Marcus Phoenix actually has a slight bit of personality, and Master Chief has all the personality of a brick. So, yeah, that's really the only difference they've got going between them. Alright? Really, though, they have nothing else. They basically are busy defending the Red Ring and saying that these two almost identical shooters are better than anything else you'll ever find on any other system ever. Alright? And that's bullshit, alright? I can tell you for a fact that the Xbox 360 has a lot of awesome games. Unfortunately, most of the fanboys will still clamor to Gears of War and to Halo. Yeah. It's pretty sad, but that's kind of sort of how those people work. Now they want to own one. They'll go, yeah, well, you have to pay for it. Yeah, and? Folks, if these people wish to, they can do that. It is their choice. Okay? So, what else have we got going here? What else does Sony like to talk about? Well, they really can't talk about exclusives too much, because that would kind of narrow down their field even more than what the 360 fanboys do. In fact, I hear the PlayStation 3 fanboys talking once more. It's only 2 games. It's only Infamous and the Resistance series. Are you fucking joking me? Out of all the games on the fucking PlayStation 3, those are your 2 big hitters? A fucking game that basically is a cross between fucking KOTOR and City of Heroes and another goddamn shooter? Are you joking me? Most of them will never look at games such as Little Big Planet and go, yes, our system's awesome because we have this retro platforming game. No, they'll never say that. Even though the game is kind of fun. You know, also a lot of them will like to try to defend the fact that their internet connection, at least for me, sucks. The reason is because I'm using a wireless connection, because I don't have a wired connection in sight, folks. I'm actually using my neighbor's wireless without them knowing. And, yeah, that's why it sucks for me. Why the hell is your wireless connection so fucking slow? Yeah, well, that's because, I don't know, man. Yeah, exactly. You don't fucking know, because you are an ignorant little fanboy bitch and you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's the problem here, folks. All three of these fucking consoles, they all have fanboys, and they're all irritating, annoying little twits who don't know when to shut the fuck up. None of them know what in the hell they are talking about at any time, and it kind of saddens me a little to just even think about this. Because I own 2 of these systems, and I have spoken on both the positives and the negatives of these. And yet the fanboys will still walk up to me and they'll go, yeah, well, you're doing it fucking wrong, man. The fucking, yellow light of death is not a problem. Yes, it is. It means that your system isn't fucking working. Yeah, well, the Wii has a lot of good games. Yes, but they have twice as many in shovelware. And since I don't own an Xbox 360, I really can't discuss that one any further than I already have. But folks, these fanboys for all 3 systems need to fuck off. They all need to piss off and burn in a pit. Alright? Because frankly, all 3 systems are good. I have said that for 3 videos now. All 3 systems are well worth a purchase, but they all have enough negatives too. And the fanboys, all 3 of them, universally hate it when you pick out a flaw on their system. Frankly, to every single fanboy, for any of these systems, 2 words for you. Fuck you. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this part of the console war. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the console war. And tonight in episode 2, I am going to be discussing the one system out of this generation of consoles that I don't own yet, and that is the Microsoft Xbox 360. Yes, I'm covering the Xbox 360. Now, first of all, even though I don't own the system, I would love to own one. The problem is, I just haven't gotten around to going out and purchasing one, and I've never had really the money for it. I do have the other 2, and I'm plenty happy with those. But now I'm going to try to explain what the 360 has for and against itself. So, let's start with the positives, because fuck, guys, the 360's got a lot of positives for it. First of all, it has a larger library than any other system. Now, that is because it has been out a full year longer than the other two, but that actually is a good thing, because that means that they have been able to work out all of the necessary technical things with their games. So now where the PlayStation 3 is still slowly working out issues when it comes to exactly how much stuff you can fit onto a disc and this and that and yada yada yada, the Xbox 360 has that, and it is in place. Also, they also have a wider selection of games, a wider fucking variety of types. Because, folks, I am not going to lie, the fucking Wii is almost nothing but casual games, and the PlayStation 3 is almost nothing but quote-unquote hardcore games, and the 360 is a nice balance of both. It has a little bit of everything, and that's thanks to a lot of their exclusive titles, which are also a mixed bag between casual and fun, and hardcore and just, again, fun. So, we have those. One other huge positive now is that there is a 360 bundle whose price is down so low that it actually is down around the Wii's price, which means that it is priced to own. Now, there is a slight problem with that one, though, and that's the fact that this is a system that doesn't come with a hard drive, which means that the only way you can save games on it, or save anything for, that matter, would be to either purchase memory cards, which they actually still have for the 360, funny thing, or purchase a 360 hard drive, which would then tack on even more onto the price for the system itself, so you might as well just buy one that's got a fucking hard drive in it. So, those actually are the positives, but still, folks, if you honestly just have to own the system, that actually would be the bundle to go with. Now, when it comes to the negatives, because there are a couple of negatives. First of all, let's talk about backwards compatibility. Now, I have to explain this, because I didn't get around to talking about this in the previous part, and this is about the Nintendo Wii. It is completely backwards ready for every GameCube game, which to some is a good thing and to some is a bad thing. I don't care. If I ever want to buy a GameCube game, I can play it without any issues. I just need to get a GameCube memory card. No big deal. And the PlayStation 3 at least used to be almost totally backwards ready for the PS2 and the PS1, and now they've changed that up, but that is something for the next video in this series. But the Xbox 360 started off with only being backwards compatible with the 50 biggest selling games, which meant that you could only play Halo and Halo 2 and Barbie's Horse Adventure. No, I'm not kidding. That was one of the first games that was backwards compatible with the Xbox 360 because it was one of their biggest sellers. And they now, every so often, are putting out updates and patches and crap to actually allow you to play more games, and that's kind of retarded, because the PlayStation 2, they had, or rather the PS3, they maybe had a few dozen games which you couldn't play, and those were normally the more obscure titles. So whoopee. However, when it comes to the 360. The fact that you have to download packs in order to play older games is kind of sad, and it seems a little bit unnecessary to me. Another problem has to do with Xbox Live, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit on this one, but I don't like the fact that Xbox is charging for its online service. Let me attempt to explain why. Folks, the previous generation, we had the Xbox. It was the only system which was online ready the moment that you took it out of the box. Alright, now, because of that, Microsoft thought that it'd be a good idea to charge people to use their system, which was a good idea because they were the only game in town when it came to online until fucking Sony and Nintendo came out with various sorts of online adapters and kits, but see, that still was that you had to go out and you had to buy more. So Microsoft said, hey, we have it, and if you want it, you have to pay. We are now a generation later, and all three systems are online ready the moment that you take them out of the box and you plug them in. You are all set to play online. And even though the Wii has some of the worst online at times, the PS3 has fucking online that is equal to the Xbox 360. The only difference is you don't have to pay to play online on the PS3. Now, perhaps maybe if Microsoft would give us something to actually make that $50 a year worth it, like perhaps maybe you get to play online and you get a $50 credit in the Xbox Live Marketplace for you to download anything, add-ons, games, themes, anything you fucking want. You have a free $50. Have fun. You know, they could be doing that, but they aren't. Instead, you get the same things you get on the PSN, only you have to pay for it. And I just think that's kind of sad to me, alright? I just find that to be rather stupid. Now, one other problem, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate on this one as well. 4 simple words, folks. Red ring of death. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. The Xbox 360 was shipped 1 year before the others, which means that it was just rushed out there, and it came out quick. And because of this, Microsoft didn't actually bother to test to see if it was going to be ready for all of these games and for the copious amounts of gameplay time that people were expected to play on it. So, what happened was the systems wound up overheating, and you'd see these 3 little lights here, which basically was the system telling you, I am done, fuck you. So then you'd have to send the system back to Microsoft, and then they would either fix it and send it back, or they would send you a new system. Now, the problem with this is, perhaps maybe if Microsoft would have pushed back the release date on the Xbox 360 by just maybe a mere 6 months and done a little bit more testing, this would not be a common occurrence with Xbox owners. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate from people because I'm saying that it's a common occurrence. And it is. Because where I've only heard of one instance of a PlayStation 3 dying, I've heard of dozens of instances of Xbox 360s dying. And frankly, that seems rather sad because I can go and I can grab an older video game system. I can grab any older video game system. I could grab a Dreamcast. I can go out, I can get a Genesis. I can plug them in, I can go and I can put in a game and it will play. It will play without any issues, 9 times out of 10. The Xbox 360 is going to Red Ring. It actually used to be about a 40% chance of it going in red ringing, but Microsoft has been slowly working on fixing it, so now it's only about a 15 to 20% chance that your system is going to red ring, and that percentage to me is still a little bit too high. I would love it to be down more around 5%, and then I will consider purchasing it. Because that was really the only thing which stopped me, was I didn't want to have to go through all of the hassle of contacting Microsoft, having them send me a box that I can put my system in, send it out to them, and then not be able to touch my system for over 2 weeks while they are fixing it. So yeah, that is why I have a PS3 instead of a 360, is because of the red ring. Now, if Microsoft is able to fix this, and I mean honestly fix it and put a better cooling system into the Xbox 360, I will happily purchase one. I will buy one in half a heartbeat if I actually have the money for it. However, that was it. That was the one thing which stopped me. And hey, if anyone has a 360 and they just want to get rid of it, and it's actually functional, hey, by all means, let me know and I might be able to try to shoot you a fucking offer. So yeah, folks, the Xbox 360, it is a very cool system. It has a ton of awesome games. It does have a couple of flaws, but I would still recommend it if you absolutely positively have to have like Halo or Gears of War or any of the other exclusives, because that's really the one thing which is saving the Xbox 360 is its exclusives. It has a ton of awesome exclusives, and really that would be the only thing to buy it for, because everything else you can just get on the PS3 and it'll play exactly the same. So folks, that is the end of part 2. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, What's up? This is Hellsing920 and it's time for the console war. Tonight in episode 1, I will be looking at the Nintendo Wii. A system that, according to many, is the biggest underdog this generation. And it very well may be, but I still feel that it has to be discussed here. First of all, yes, I do own a Wii. In fact, it was the first system out of this generation of consoles that I came into possession of. And it does have some awesome positives to it. However, it has also a lot of negatives. I'm going to hopefully be able to cover them all right here tonight. First of all, the system does have some great games. In fact, all of their awesome games seem a little bit more unique than the ones that are on the other systems. I mean, because if you look on the other consoles, you've got first-person shooters and you have sports games. Whoopee. The Wii has more of a puzzle game and family game and party game sort of atmosphere going on. Alright? Now, the problem, though, is that with all of the good games and all the fun games, there's also a ton of shovelware. For those of you who don't know what that is, shovelware are titles that are just, rushed out there to make a quick buck. Alright, that is all that they are. If you want a really good example, there is a game out there which is called Ninja Bread Man, which is made by a company called Data Design Interactive or Data Design International, DDI. Those are the initials. In fact, they love this fucking game so much that they have released it multiple times under different names. The only thing which they did was they just did a, color swap on the levels and the enemies, and they made the hero look a little bit different. But it's the exact same game. This is shovelware, my friends. And this is something which plagues the Wii. There's so much of it that it's very difficult to actually find a good quality game amongst the ocean of dog shit, alright? So, you do have that as a problem. Another issue which they have has to do with the system's memory. Because where the other two systems offer hard drives, which have 20, 40, 60, 160, 200, whatever gigs of memory, gigabytes of space, the Wii is working off of flash memory, and it has less than a gigabyte of storage space. Which really sucks when you think about it, because that means that you can't store a lot of stuff on there. However, though, Nintendo did actually opt to give us a fix on this by allowing you now to use SD cards as secondary hard drives for the system. Which is cool, but why the hell didn't they do that in the first place? Or maybe actually, put a hard drive on the system. Make it maybe like a few inches wider to actually allow for a nice, 20 gig hard drive to go in there. You don't need anything big, just something. Or perhaps maybe use those fucking USB ports on the back to some good use, and allow people to put external hard drives on the fucking thing. There are a lot of options, and Nintendo took one of the worst options, which was the SD card. However, it is at least something. And that at least shows that they care about what people are complaining about. Speaking of shit that Wii owners love to bitch about, another item that sort of plagues the system, friend codes. Yeah, friend codes. For those of you who don't own a Wii and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, I want you to look at this right here. Here are my friend codes as seen on my YouTube channel. Yes, you need each of these fucking codes to play me in any Wii game that I own. So in other words, I have to know your special 12-digit code, and you have to know mine. That's it. I don't know why they couldn't have gone with screen names, gamer tags, something of that nature, something which the other two systems are doing. But no, they instead decided to go with this route, and even here they could have made it easier, because your system itself has its own fucking code, which is used for if people want to send you messages, or if they want to gift you a game. Why the fuck couldn't you have used this as the general friend code then? You just punch in this and you have access to them to play them at any fucking game that the both of you have. Would that have been so difficult? I I guess so, because Nintendo decided, no, we are going to make them use a different 12-digit code for every fucking game. Which is rather sad. In fact, that's just fucking pathetic. It really is. Alright? Otherwise, folks, a few other positives. The Wii does have the Wii Shop, which allows you to purchase WiiWare titles and also virtual console titles. Now, that means that you can get, basically ROMs for over 12 different systems, and you can emulate them on the Wii. Which is great. That actually means that you can jump on there, you can purchase like Super Mario Bros. 3 for $5, and you can play it on your big-ass TV. And hey, that is cool. I mean, and they have a ton of titles on a ton of different systems. I mean, I could sit up here and I could name them all off, but there really isn't a point. So, however, yes, that is a big positive. However, again, this sort of goes back to the whole memory issue. Unless you have a fucking SD card, you're not going to be able to store a lot of those games. So, yeah. That means that you're going to have to spend a few dollars extra to actually give your Wii some storage space. Now, a lot of people are going to ask me if I would recommend the Wii, and I will say yes. I would highly recommend the system. However, I do think that you should at least purchase another system to go with it. So, in other words, if you truly want to own a Wii, it would help if you also had like a handheld, such as like the DSi or the PSP or just a plain DS. Or if you have like a 360, a PS3, a PS2 would even be good. You just need something else to kind of fill that void which the Wii can't. Because the Wii doesn't have a whole lot of like action titles and shooters, and they are done better on other systems anyway, so you're going to want to go that route if you do want to sort of mix that in with everything else. So folks, yes, the Wii, I would highly say buy it, but then again, I would say that about all of these systems. However, this one, you're going to want something else to go with it, because there's no way that this is going to fill all of your gaming needs. And with that, that closes out part 1 of the console war. Until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the console war. Yes guys, it has been quite a few months, but I have gotten so many requests for this one that I needed to discuss it. Yes, tonight I'm talking about the PC. Now, before anyone leaves any comments or sends me any messages saying that the PC is not, a proper console, I know. I know this full well. However, since so many people have sent me messages saying that I needed to cover the PC because the PC is the greatest thing to ever happen to gaming, I needed to touch on this. And unlike my previous videos which focused on a single system, I am not going to play this one level or fair, because frankly, I think that the PC is the worst gaming platform you can ever have. And I will explain why. But first, I think I should get the positives mentioned, just so that way they're mentioned. Okay? First of all, the PC. If you happen to be a graphics whore who thinks that graphics are the be-all, end-all for games, you are going to love the PC, because everything on the PC, from graphics to sound, are constantly evolving. So you never have to worry about games coming out, or you rarely have to worry about, games coming out and looking the same, because there's bound to be a new processor out or a new video card that's going to make the games look even better. All right. However, though, that also touches on a negative, but I'm going to hold off on that for now. Alright, another thing. There is a wide selection of games, partially because the PC has been a gaming platform for many, many years. So provided that you have, a fucking operating system that can actually handle the older games, you can go back as far as 15, possibly even 20 years. and play some of those games, so that really isn't a huge problem. Something else, and this is actually something that the people have mentioned to me more than I would actually, think of it as a positive. You can mod your games. For those of you who have no idea what in the hell that means that you can download like new, skins and new this and that, and you can make the game look a little bit different. Granted, it really isn't a big thing, but some people see this as one of the ultimate reasons why you need to play on a PC, because you can mod your game, you can make it look completely different from every other version of it being played. And one other one, and I'm not sure why in the hell people were so, hell-bent on mentioning that this one is a positive, but you can illegally download games. Yeah, because, going and actually harming the gaming, industry by going and downloading a game as opposed to actually buying it is really a positive. Yeah, guys, bravo. I really do want to applaud every single one of those PC gaming scumbags who told me, oh yeah, man, the PC is awesome because you're able to steal the fucking games, man. You don't have to buy Grand Theft Auto 4 on the PC. You can just download it. Yeah, that's really smooth there, Chief. Yeah, you just have fun with that. Well, that about covers the positives. Now let's have some fun and dive into the negatives. First of all, do you guys happen to remember in my fucking Wii video, I mentioned the copious amounts of shovelware that have been thrust onto the Wii? Well, the Wii's amount of shovelware seems minuscule when compared to the absolute mountain of it that is available on the PC. Again, though, this fucking comes from years and years of having games put out for the same platform, okay? You are bound to have a fuck ton of shovelware. In fact, if you ever go to places like Walmart or Best Buy and you find PC games there which are for like $5 or 10 or like $10, and they look like, knockoffs of things like Zuma or Bejeweled or any of the other casual games out there, odds are it's a piece of shit. Same thing also with if it's a sim game, or oftentimes if it's any newer game that ends in the word tycoon. Odds are it's going to be a complete and total piece of shit, and the PC has got so many of these that it is almost frightening. And another negative, which kind of harkens back to a previous video. You guys remember when I made that big deal about Xbox Live and its $50 a year charge to play online? Compared to the PC, that $50 is nothing. Let me just try to explain, folks. If you have an Xbox 360, you can spend $50. You can play all of their online-ready games all fucking year. Now, if you have a PC, there are certain games which you can play online for free. Other ones demand a monthly charge, and this monthly charge usually ranges anywhere from $5 to $15. And even at the low end of $5 a year, that is $60 a year to play one PC game for an entire year, as opposed to the $50, which is for, now I am just going to say this for those of you who are a little bit on the, mathematically challenged side, $10 less on the Xbox 360 to play their entire online library, okay? That's fucking sad. And of course it gets even worse if you're playing multiple games on the PC that have this monthly charge. It's going to add up. Speaking of mindlessly pissing away money, the PC is built just for that. Alright? You guys happen to remember when I mentioned how PCs are always evolving graphically and everything else? Well, that's because the hardware companies are constantly putting out new processors, new video cards, new everything. And the fucking game developers, knowing this, will actually make games specifically for this fucking for this hardware that comes out around the same time. So if you want to play the newest, hottest, graphically high-end game, you usually need to spend at least $100 extra for some little minor piece of hardware that you then need to go and install into your PC if you even dream of, installing the game you want to purchase. Now, folks, let me just put this into perspective for you. If I want to get a game for my PlayStation 3, all I have to do is make sure that the PlayStation 3 logo is on the box. Done. I can take it home, I can put it into my system, and it's going to fucking run. If I want to get a game for the PC, however, I need to have a little list of exactly what sort of technical specs my PC has, and then compare it to the games I'm interested in purchasing. And if I don't have enough power, I then need to spend even more fucking money to make it work, or just say fuck it and see if there's a console version of the same game. Okay? In fact, I can say this right now, folks. I have tried Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PC. I'm going to tell you right now, you're better off playing it on the Xbox or playing it on the PS2, because it was a piece of shit on the fucking PC. Alright? And that, folks, to me is really the biggest problem, is the fact that if you want a game on the fucking PC, it can cost you thousands of dollars to make sure that your system is completely up to date, okay? Unlike the consoles where you spend a couple $100s and you have the system, okay? Very few actual consoles have ever forced you to go out and purchase extra shit to make newer games run. In fact, the only one that is immediately coming to mind is the Nintendo 64. And even then, only a couple of games actually used that fucking memory expansion pack, okay? Very, very few. So it seems almost leaps and bounds different from the PC, where you really do need to keep up with all the hardware if you ever expect to keep up in PC gaming. Yes, folks, I seriously believe that if given the option between gaming on a PC or gaming on any of the three consoles that are currently out, I would go with the consoles. They are cheaper, they are a hell of a lot more fun, and folks, let's just face facts here. If I had the option of playing a game on my rather small PC screen or playing it on my 32-inch TV, I'm going to play it on my fucking 32-inch TV, okay? There is just no question there. So yeah, folks, that actually just about wraps it up for this installment of the console war. And I probably pissed off a whole lot of fucking PC assholes, and, well, I actually kind of saw that coming, so I eagerly await all of your mindless, hate-filled responses. It's probably going to be really fucking funny. Until next time, folks, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. And tonight's Fanboy Chronicles is one that I've been holding off on doing for quite some time, simply because I know all of the horrible responses I'm going to get for it. However, since there's a new Final Fantasy game coming out, I thought, what the hell, let's cover them now. Especially since the fanboys have made themselves ridiculously vocal about this upcoming Final Fantasy game, but I will get to that in just a sec. First of all, I guess I should attempt to explain for the 5 of you who have no clue what Final Fantasy is. Final Fantasy is a video game franchise. It's a series of role-playing games created by a company called Square Enix. It used to just be called Square, and before that it was Squaresoft, but that has nothing to do with anything. First of all, the reason why it's called Final Fantasy is because it was going to be the company's last game, because they were about to go bankrupt. And then the game sold like crazy, and now they're up to their 13th game in the main series, but there's about 17 or 18 different fucking spin-off games at least. Spin-off games, sequels, and what have you. Now, this actually leads to one interesting element of the fanboy portion of the Final Fantasy fan base, and that is, very few of them are die-hard devoted to the entire franchise. Most of them seem to love just one game, And that one game will differ from person to person. Example, a lot of them are fans specifically for Final Fantasy VII. Some of them for Final Fantasy IV. Some of them for Final Fantasy XII. I don't know why. I actually played 12. I thought it sucked. But there are still people who adore it. There are people who love Final Fantasy XI, which is basically just World of Warcraft with a big Final Fantasy sticker slapped on the box. Or actually, if we want to talk about, just the general look, it's actually EverQuest with a Final Fantasy sticker on it, but I don't care right now. Let's continue. So, if you happen to find someone who just absolutely adores Final Fantasy VII, let's say, because so many of them seem to adore this game for some strange reason I've never totally figured out, if you tell them that you think that the game sucks, prepare for a lecture. They will go off on you. I actually did this once. 45 minutes of them borderline screaming at me, talking about how the characters are deep and the story is fantastic and all this other crap. And when I would mention my biggest problems with it, the fact that, and I never thought I'd say this about a game, it feels like it takes too fucking long to finish. It has cutscenes that are so goddamn long, and they just bog the story down. And they will go, no man, Sephiroth is the fucking answer for everything. He is the main reason for playing the game. Really? So, the villain is the main reason, huh? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to pass, thank you. And you see, folks, that is kind of it. And like I said, you can do this with any game in the fucking series. And odds are you will find a fanboy who is going to bitch you out because you don't like their one select game in the series. Now, mind you, folks, this actually is going to be my general thought on Final Fantasy in general. Most of the games are rather average. I am not even kidding. Okay, I actually did play a little bit of Final Fantasy VII. I really didn't care for it too much. I played a little bit of 10 and 12. I wasn't big fans of those either. I seriously have played a few games from all over the series. Now let's talk about the new one, shall we? Final Fantasy 13. Why are the fanboys all up in arms over this one? Oh, there's a simple answer for that. Because it's a multi-platform game. No, folks, I'm not fucking kidding. These people are flipping out, spazzing out, throwing these ungodly bitch fits over what? The fact that the game's going to be available on both the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Whoopee, guys. Seriously, who cares? Better yet, why do you care? Alright, see folks, I actually just recently got a fucking 360 because, well, I couldn't find a lot of interesting games on the PS3. Hoping I can find more on this thing. But anyway, if I want to play Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox 360, how the fuck is that going to hurt you? Seriously. I would love to hear from one of these diehard Final Fantasy nuts. I want to know, where the hell are you going to find a reason to hate on the game? And believe it or not, some of these people have actually posted videos, and their answer is always this. The series has always been on a Sony system. Yeah, there actually was some jackass who made a fucking video bitching about this, and that was his big argument. So, wait, so when I was a kid, and when I had a fucking NES, and amongst my pile of games was the original Final Fantasy, I just dreamt that. When me and my cousin played and conquered Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the fucking GameCube, that just never happened, right? Because Final Fantasy's always been on a Sony system. Are you fucking stupid? Jesus Christ, man! Believe it or not, folks, this actually seems to be the biggest argument here, is that Final Fantasy has been a Sony-based franchise for so long. And again, that's bullshit, because they have put out games on the fucking DS, and they put them out on the Game Boy. It basically has been a Sony and Nintendo franchise for many years now. However, now suddenly it wants to go to a new system. And these people are throwing an ungodly fit about it, and I really can't understand why. Because I honestly can't really think of it as the problem being that it's multi-platform and multi-platform titles suck, because that's wrong. There are a ton of multi-platform games that are actually fun. In fact, hell, that actually is why exclusive titles have gone so down in general numbers on the systems, because multi-platforms have proven themselves. But yet these assholes want to fucking tell you that this thing is the work of the devil. Final Fantasy 13 on the Xbox 360. You know what? I actually am tempted. Just to piss off every one of these worthless sacks of shit, I just might buy the game. Not even actually play it. Just fucking buy it to spite them. Because hey, these people have gone as far as to put up fucking petitions over this. I am not joking. No. They have put up petitions with thousands of signatures. Are you fucking joking me? Are you people this fucking shallow? I mean, God, seriously. I mean, come on. You guys are throwing a fit over a fucking video game series that should have ended years ago, trying to expand its fan base by putting out its newest title on multiple systems. Where's the fucking problem? Seriously. And, of course, going actually back to Final Fantasy VII, this is something that has always bothered me. I just thought about this. Is that every one of the Final Fantasy VII lunatics out there, for some reason, they wish that Final Fantasy VII would get remade. Why? Because every one of them always says that it has to be remade on the PlayStation 3. Why? If you have it for the PS1, you can play it on your PS3. You can download it on your PS3, for fuck's sake. I mean, hey, if they actually were going to remake it, maybe put it out on, like, the Wii or the 360 or the PSP, you can still download it. But still, I would have to say, why fucking bother? And I actually once asked one of these people that, and they said, because it would then look better graphically. Who gives a shit about graphics, you fucking jackass? The fact is, the game is probably going to be the exact same thing you played all those many years ago. So just dust off your fucking copy, play it, and have fun, and shut the fuck up. Final Fantasy VII does not need a fucking remake. In fact, there's really no game that really needs a, fucking, remake. Seriously. So, folks, this one probably wasn't, one of my better Fanboy Chronicles, but hey, I sort of felt that I needed to get this out there. So guys, until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. Tonight's Fanboy Chronicles is about a video game franchise, one that bothers me. And I'm talking about the fan base. The fanboys bother me to no end. I'm talking, of course, about Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I'm talking about Sonic here. Why the hell do I have issues with the Sonic the Hedgehog fan base? Because they are all completely out of their fucking skulls. Let me attempt to explain. First of all, folks, Sonic the Hedgehog is, in my opinion at least, an average video game franchise, alright? I could probably count off an equal number of both good games to bad games. In other words, for every single Sonic the Hedgehog 2, there's Sonic Spinball. Okay? It's just that simple. Alright? Now, the fanboys, on the other hand, and I have talked to some of the Sonic fanboys, and they've told me this directly. Every game completely impacts and influences the entire series. In other words, if they don't like Sonic, let's say Sonic Unleashed, if they fucking don't like that one game, they can't like any of the games in the series. Unleashed, if that one game sucks, or if whatever the fuck new game comes out, let's say the next one coming out, which is Sonic and the Black Knight, if that game sucks, it's going to ruin the entire franchise for them. Could you fucking imagine if fucking any other group of video game fans were to do that shit? Think about this for just a minute. Imagine if somebody bought the newest Madden game and said, my god, this thing fucking sucks, and they never play another Madden game from then back to the oldest game unless next year's Madden is good. I swear to God, folks. People were shitting on the entire Sonic franchise when Sonic 06 came out. And then when Sonic and the Secret Rings came out and some people said, hey, this is kind of fun, they automatically lightened up on the entire franchise except for Sonic 06. It's kind of sort of like the Halloween 3 of the fucking franchise. Some people like it, but everyone else goes, it's just not Sonic. Alright, first of all, you shouldn't base an entire franchise on one game, okay? You should take every game equally. In other words, if you happen to enjoy Sonic Shuffle, let's say, go ahead, play it and have fun. The game is sort of fun, except the music is incredibly boring and the music's going to put you to sleep. But that's just my opinion. Alright? If you happen to like that game, go ahead and play it. If you happen to like Sonic 06, have fun with it. If you happen to enjoy Sonic fucking Spinball, I don't know why in the hell you would, but if you happen to enjoy it, go for it. Have fun. However, now, that part doesn't bother me too much. The assholes who want to base the entire franchise on whatever new game comes out. The real issue, the real problem with the Sonic base, with the Sonic fanboys, are the assholes who bitch about the voice actors, and that's my biggest complaint here. I'm going to discuss the Sonic voice actors. Let me just attempt to fill you in on this, folks. Voice acting is not going to break a game. Mega Man 8 would be equally as fun if it had voice actors who actually knew what the fuck they were doing. Okay? Alright? Resident Evil is going to have the same broken, disgustingly irritating controls even if the voice acting was good. Alright? You can't just look at the voice acting and say, oh my god, this fucking game would have been 10 times better if it didn't have this cast. Fuck you. Okay? Video games are about gameplay. They are not about the cutscenes, they're not about the graphics, and they're not about the voice actors. They're about the fucking gameplay. The sooner that you morons understand this, the better off we will all fucking be. Okay? Alright? And of course, one certain Sonic fanboy is the one who brought this entire thing to a fucking head. This one lone lunatic is the person who made a long, rambling, bitching video about Jason Griffith saying he's horrible as Sonic. And every single one of his fanboys, as well as a lot of the other Sonic fanboys, followed suit. And they would put up videos comparing Ryan Drummond's voice acting to Jason Griffith's voice acting. And I don't mean to break this to you guys. I didn't notice enough of a fucking difference to make such a big deal out of it, okay? I did not see enough of a fucking difference between voice actor A and voice actor B to make it such a big deal, okay? But then again, I know why I don't give a shit. When I was a child, I grew up on Looney Tunes, and one of the primary voice actors for every single Warner Brothers animated short way back when was Mel Blanc, alright? He voiced damn near every Looney Tunes character save for Elmer Fudd and almost every female, alright? Otherwise, he voiced almost every other character. When he died, the world wept. At least the animation world wept. Nowadays, we have new voice actors playing Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and every other Looney Tunes character, and you don't hear people bitching. Why? Because it's close enough, alright? The voices are so close that you don't give a shit. And it's understandable because Mel Blanc's dead, okay? Now, let's just say that Ryan Drummond died. Would these people have had the exact same reaction about Jason Griffith? Fuck no. They fucking wouldn't have. But since Ryan Drummond refused to work to keep his job, he refused to move to New York and all this other happy shit, he lost his job and he was replaced by somebody who they could use. It's that fucking simple, okay? And the fanboys always try to make it out as if Jason Griffith stole the job. No. They also attempt to make it sound as if Jason Griffith sucks. No! I've watched these cutscenes, folks, and I'm going to tell you, the only reason why he might suck is because the writing in these video games is so piss poor in the first place. Okay? Believe me, I actually am part of a Sonic Unleashed cutscene fan dub. That writing is dog shit. Alright? But that's just my opinion. Frankly, folks, these Sonic fanboys are absolutely fucking insane, and they drive me to the point of lunacy. They really do. Because with every new game, they always find reasons to bitch. Example, with fucking Sonic Unleashed, they bitched because you didn't have, like, you know, Knuckles and Shadow, you didn't have all these other characters. And with Sonic and the Black Knight, they are bitching because Silver's in it. Whoopee! Alright? Who fucking cares? Shut up and just play the fucking games, and if you don't want to play them, cool! Quit bitching about it, for the love of Christ. It's just a video game, okay? It's just a video game about a little blue rodent. Whoop-de-doo. Alright, folks, that is it for this episode of the Fanboy Chronicles. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an epic rant. And tonight's epic rant is all about Blu-ray. Oh yes. Ever since I made that little crack during my PlayStation video about Blu-ray being a complete joke, people have been going down my fucking throat bitching at me about it. And you know what? Tonight is the night I'm going to explain why I think Blu-ray is a joke. First of all, to clarify something, I'm not talking about it as a joke when it comes to using it as a storage medium to actually store your own shit, or using it for things like video games. Because guess what? Those actually can show off what Blu-ray can do. Because those show how much more space it has over DVDs. Okay? So yeah, those two instances work. No, I'm here to talk about how much of a joke Blu-ray movies are. See, folks, a lot of people were telling me that a lot of classic movies are so much better if you watch them on Blu-ray. And the big ones that they mentioned were 2001 and Blade Runner. Two movies that I think are okay, alright? I'm not a huge fan of either one. And to be totally fair, I'd rather have them on DVD anyway, just because I personally don't see enough of a difference. See, folks, a lot of people were telling me about the picture clarity on Blu-ray discs, and they always say that that's the big selling point, is the picture is so much clearer, dude! What difference is that going to make? See, folks, the first Blu-ray movie I watched was Spider-Man 3, because my cousin got it free with his PlayStation 3. And after he bought the high-def cable and he hooked it all up to his fucking big-ass TV, the both of us sat down, we watched Spider-Man 3 in high definition. This was the second time I had watched this movie, because I bought it on DVD about a month or two prior for about $5. Yeah, I actually found a used copy for $5. Anyway, and I watched it, and I noticed the extra clarity, but I also noticed that even with that, the movie is still a piece of shit. The villains still suck, the writing is still garbage, and the film still feels a little bit too fucking long for my taste. So, hey, you know what? That means that Blu-ray hasn't done a fucking thing. And what's the only difference between the two discs? Well, if you happen to push the menu button on your Blu-ray player, the pain of having to watch this god-awful movie doesn't stop. No, the menu just pops up at the fucking bottom, so you still have to listen to this horrendous movie as you're trying to fish around looking for anything, bonus features, a Spanish audio track, anything, something to make the movie worth it. So, yeah. There is why I don't like Blu-ray. It's because my first experience proved to me that there's nothing worth it to actually get a Blu-ray copy. Now, there are very few instances where this is different, alright? First of all, we have Blade Runner, which is a 5-disc set, alright? All 5 discs are different cuts of the fucking movie, okay? You have everything from the theatrical cut, director's cut, the work print, you have all this other shit. That is awesome, because first of all, the movie is okay, like I said. But being able to watch 5 different versions of it and actually watch how the film has evolved, that's kick-ass. But they also put out a 3-disc version on DVD, which has 3 different cuts of the fucking movie. So, hey, the only difference is that the Blu-ray has 2 extra cuts. Big deal. That to me is not enough. Now, once more, I'm going to go back to picture clarity, because I know a lot of people are going to, harp on me about how movies are so much better with a clearer picture. No, they aren't. Okay? In fact, I went on Google and I did a little image search looking for Blu-ray to DVD comparison shots. And, you know what? Looking at these, I have not noticed enough of a fucking difference in any of them to warrant me going out and buying the Blu-ray version over the DVD version, alright? This is especially prevalent with older films. It is. Folks, I don't fucking care, alright? I would rather get all 3 Back to the Future films on DVD because, hey, I like using my DVD player, and I'm not going to use my fucking PlayStation 3 as a glorified Blu-ray player, so I'd have to go and shell out another few $100s to actually get a Blu-ray player. Fuck that shit, okay? Alright? See, folks, no matter what anybody says when it comes to picture clarity, I look at these shots, and I remember my time with Spider-Man 3, and I remember going to Best Buy and watching their various, Blu-ray films, demoed on giant-ass, high-def sets. I don't see enough of a major difference to make me want to go out and buy shit on Blu-ray, okay? I just don't, alright? Now, I could maybe understand if Blu-ray movies had a few little things changed about them, alright? First one is more bonus features, alright? If they had more shit on the Blu-ray version than on the DVD version, and they were bonus features that were actually interesting, like extra commentaries or extra documentaries, I could maybe understand that then. Because that's something that is a little bit different, and that sounds pretty cool. But of course, that doesn't happen very often. In fact, about the only feature which is different from fucking Blu-ray to DVD is some bullshit thing called BD Live. And I can't even be asked to go and look up what in the fuck that is. Alright? According to what some people have told me, it has something to do with you creating your own commentary and putting it up on the internet for people to go and search on their Blu-ray player and go, oh, look! Hellsing has done a commentary on the fucking Dark Knight. I have to hear this. And then after 2.5 hours of fucking crying, they're gonna wish that they never did. So, yeah, but that's it. That is really the only extra feature you get when it comes to Blu-ray. Whoopee! Folks, guess what? People have been doing that for years. The only fucking difference is that you need to get some kind of a sync-up program, and then you'd be downloading shit like fucking riff. You'd be downloading riff tracks. Which, frankly, if fucking Blu-ray offered the riff tracks version of these movies for free, I'd happily go that way then, because that's really the only way to watch most of these fucking movies. But, anyway, let's just move on, shall we? Alright, but that's really the only feature. That's really the only extra feature I have found. Now, what's the only other thing that could really save Blu-ray? Put multiple movies with DVD quality video on one disc. See, you actually are seeing this now with, normal DVDs, where they're putting out 4 movies across 2 discs, and that's cool. Except it's one movie on each side, and they're both 2-sided discs. And that, to me, is a little bit sad. Now, if they could put all 4 of those movies onto one Blu-ray disc and sell it out there for the same price, I'd happily go for it. Why? Because that takes up less space on my shelf, and I'm getting more fucking movies. See, that is the thing, folks. If they were to take, franchises, such as, let's say, Star Trek, and instead of putting them all out in fucking, Blu-ray definition, which is almost indifferent from fucking DVD, why don't you put, the first 3 movies on one disc, and then the next 3 on a fucking another, and then the next 3, and then this way, then you have the first 9 movies across 3 fucking releases. It'd be quick, it'd be easy, it'd be painless, and I would happily buy it because most of those movies are pretty good, except for 1 and 3. The rest of them are actually fairly decent. But no, you see, they don't want to do that because of one thing. They want to make as much fucking money as possible, and they can only do that by selling them one movie at a time. And folks, if you really are stupid enough to purchase retro movies on Blu-ray when you already have them on DVD, that makes you a ridiculously sad person, and I feel rather sorry for you. Now, once more, folks, if anyone actually wants to try to come and defend Blu-ray, by all means, bring it on. I would love to hear this. But right now, I still see Blu-ray as being a complete waste, and it's going to stay that way until I see something that actually proves that Blu-ray is useful. And guys, that will do it for this installment of the Epic Rant. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an Epic Rant. My friends, tonight's Epic Rant is about a little topic that is one of the driving forces behind me not going to theaters anymore. On top of the fact that the crowds suck and the theaters always stink and everything is fucking overpriced as hell, remakes. Yes, remakes. Now, my biggest problem with remakes is the fact that they're unoriginal. Folks, I have watched a lot of movies in my time, and I've also seen quite a few remakes. Very few of them have ever been actually justifiable to the point of actually being worth watching. One of them is Scarface. I'm talking about the 1980s Scarface, which was a remake of a 1932 film. Now, just beyond the fact that the nickname of each character is Scarface, and the ending is not too, bright and happy, and there's a whole lot of illegal bullshit going on. That's all that the two films have in common, but it is still a remake in spirit. It is so different that you actually can watch it and then watch the original, and you don't feel like you're watching the same shit again. Another film that is justified is one called Funny Games. I'm going to attempt to explain this film. First of all, if you have never heard of Funny Games, look it up. I highly recommend it. The film was originally made in Austria, I think. It was either Austria or Germany. And then a couple of years later, it was remade in America under the orders of the original writer and director of the original film. You see, because the writer and the director are the same guy, they did not want to run the risk of a fucking English dub possibly fucking up their film, so they got a competent English cast, and they reshot the film shot for shot, and it looked great. The film is excellent. It is one of my favorite psychological films ever made. I highly recommend it. See, that one was just to make sure that everybody, both English and German / Austrian alike, can enjoy the film. Now there's a lot of remakes though that aren't justified. They are just out to make money because fucking Hollywood studios are too fucking lazy to actually come up with something original. One huge target people love to go after is King Kong. King Kong has been remade so many fucking times, and none of those remakes have ever been good. The first person who mentions the fucking Peter Jackson Kong, fuck you. The film was far too long. It was exceedingly boring. In fact, I can sum it up like this. It was twice as long as the fucking original and only half as entertaining. And I didn't even care for the original, to be fair with you. Alright? But yeah, King Kong has been remade like 5-6 times, and that sucks. Then there's that huge glut of Japanese horror remakes that came flying in a couple of years ago, and we're still getting a slight trickle every so often. I'm talking about The Ring, The Grudge, Dark Water, One Missed Call. I think what the hell was that new one? I think it was the Uninvited. I believe is also based on a Japanese horror film. There also is a film that's similar to the fucking Uninvited. So one of those two actually has its roots based in Asia. You see, now did we need those? No. Why? Because it would have been cheaper to just fucking dub them. All right. Because these were not under orders of the fucking, directors who were afraid of getting a god-awful English dub. No, these were just studios going, well, look at this. This thing here was a fucking hit. If we just purchase that license, and then we make the whole cast white, it'll make twice as much here. And that almost never happens because the movies tank because they're fucking directed poorly. Now, what other fucking remakes have come out that are... Well, actually, hold on now. Before I go into even more bullshit remakes that didn't have to be made, there is one other thing that actually justifies a remake. And that is if there is a huge shift in the film's style. Alright? Example, when they took the stage musicals to films such as Little Shop of Horrors and The Producers, and they made them into films, those technically are remakes, and they're worth it because they're musicals. They are a totally different take on a film that has already been made. I can say the same thing about Sweeney Todd, because that was a film back in, I think it was back in the 50s. I actually watched it once. It was okay. I still have to watch the musical, but anyway. Now, that really, though, is like it for, justifiable remakes, folks, so I'm not going to be hitting that well anytime soon. Now, recently, though, we had, or actually not recently, but coming soon, as of this recording, there is a new influx coming in, and it's not remakes of Japanese horror films, it's remakes of American horror films. Started with My Bloody Valentine 3D. Very soon we're going to have the Friday the 13th remake. We have even further down the fucking road, we have remakes to Hellraiser and Nightmare on fucking Elm Street. Why the hell do we need these? These fucking franchises were fine. There is no need to remake them. Let them die peacefully. And I know a lot of people are also going to mention Halloween. They are going to say that I forgot to mention Halloween, and by all fucking rights, I did. I'm going to say this, though. I actually have hope for Halloween because its fucking director's actually competent. Alright? I've seen both of Rob Zombie's feature films he did before doing Halloween, and I enjoyed them both greatly. Alright? So, I'm hoping that he can actually take a horror franchise I think sucks balls. He might actually be able to make something good out of it. I still have to watch it. That's why I haven't, stated any, extremes on that one. But I do have hopes there. I have hope. Alright? Which is more than I can say for every other remake that has come out. When I saw that trailer for The Day the Earth Stood Still, I wanted to reach through my TV and strangle fucking, Keanu Reeves, because he has all the acting ability of Driftwood. His best films ended with the words excellent adventure and bogus journey. Everything else was pieces of shit, alright? Everything else he ever made sucked balls, alright? The Matrix sucked. That fucking piece of Shakespeare crap that he did was terrible. Speed was boring as hell. So yeah, Keanu Reeves is sort of like poison to me. I can't fucking stand him. And folks, I can sit up here and I can rant about it, but there's only one thing that's actually going to stop Hollywood from remaking this shit. And you know what that is? Stop watching them. Stop going to theaters to watch remakes. Instead, go to your local video store and fucking rent the original. Show that you actually care about movies being made with some kind of quality and just a little bit of fucking skill. Alright? Speaking of movies that required no fucking skill, the lamest remake I've ever seen was a remake to the Alfred Hitchcock classic Psycho. Instead of trying to do something different with it, the fucking director, I don't even remember his goddamn name, did a shot-for-shot remake and just added in some fucking unnecessary nudity to try to spark people's interest. Oh my god, look at that! You actually can see her fucking boobs! Oh my god! The movie still sucked, though, because it didn't have the spirit that Alfred Hitchcock had when he went in. And that's the biggest problem when it comes to remakes. There is no spirit to them. Nobody fucking cares about remakes because their heart isn't fucking in it. Okay? When Alfred Hitchcock made Psycho, he actually gave a shit. When this fucking college film school dropout tried to remake Psycho, it failed because he didn't give a shit. That is why all of those Japanese horror remakes sucked. They didn't give a shit about the source material. That is why the rumored remakes for fucking Battle Royale and Oldboy are going to suck, because the directors aren't going to give a shit, because they are going to get paid either way. My friends, if you truly want to stop this kind of lazy bullshit from coming out of Hollywood, do us all a favor. Stop going to theaters to see remakes. Go and see films that actually look entertaining and are actually original. And hey, maybe, if it actually looks like it might be better than the fucking remake, go right ahead and see it. Because frankly, I also want to see the fucking wrestler because the, original wrestler sort of left a bad taste in my mouth because it sucked. This one actually looks like it might be able to do it right. So folks, that is it for this rant. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an epic rant. Tonight's epic rant is sort of a follow-up of sorts, because recently I did a rant on movie remakes, and I was saying a lot of really harsh things about exactly how lazy Hollywood is when it comes to remaking old films instead of coming up with something original. And since then, I've gotten a ton of requests from people who wanted me to do one on sequels. So yes, this rant is a sequel to my rant on remakes, and this sequel is about me bitching about poorly made sequels. Except, well, this time, the budget's gotten a little bit higher for me. Yeah, so at least I'm not, amongst the guilty. First of all, folks, I'm going to say this, not every sequel sucks. There have been a lot of really good sequels. And I could just sit up here and name them off, but that would get a little bit dull and tedious and boring, and plus there are some sequels that I personally enjoy that others think sucked horribly. So I'm not going to bore you with that. However, there are a handful of sequels that are complete and total shit, and they really should never have been made. First of all, folks, I'm going to say this. Sequels are okay if the story actually has somewhere to go. If you can actually further the current story, have fun with it. Example, in Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, which is a sequel to a movie barely anybody fucking knows of, but it's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time, just to mention, they actually took off from the first movie. You follow a character who you meet in the first film who was greatly impacted. And you see how the events of the first film affected them in the sequel. But then the next 3 sequels in the series have almost nothing to do with the first 2. They were basically just, cash-ins trying to work off of a name that at the time was extremely notorious for being a controversial film. So, yes, that's one really good example. A lot of people would cite Halloween 3 as another really horrible sequel. However, I have to go against that, because Halloween 3 actually followed exactly what John Carpenter wanted to do with the Halloween franchise. He didn't want it to be based solely on Michael Myers. He wanted it to be sort of like an annual event, an annual or a biannual event, roughly, where he would put out a film, a horror film, where the one big, where the one huge connecting factor is that it's set during Halloween. But since everyone pitched a fucking shit fit when this thing came out, which, by the way, this movie's actually really good, and it's my favorite in the entire fucking Halloween franchise, to be honest with you. People bitched because it didn't feature the guy in the William Shatner mask. Fuck him. Anyway, so they then had to churn out a ton of been there, done that, carbon copy sequels that just got worse and worse with each passing film. Now, that's really a thing, folks, is when it comes to horror franchises, sequels come in great abundance. And there are times when the sequels can be really shitty, and then there's times when the sequels can be actually pretty good. Example, my favorite horror franchise at the moment is the Hellraiser films. The first 4 are really good, and then the second 4 are everywhere from average to poor. None of them actually directly flat out suck, but some of them they could have been a ton better. All right. But of course, that second cluster of 4 were basically, forced out there to attempt to keep the franchise alive, even though people stopped really giving a shit around Part 3. Another series that I actually kind of enjoy is the Saw series. I've only gotten to see the first 4. I haven't gotten to see Saw 5 yet, but these are actually sequels done right. They actually are continuing with the trend of the previous films. The stories all in some way, shape, or form connect, and it's actually entertaining, and it's written well. And then we look at the biggest criminal when it comes to poorly made sequels, direct-to-video sequels. These usually come from Disney. Even though Disney swore up and down that they would fucking stop, they have since started up again with a couple of really god-awful sequels and prequels that really should never have been made. And there's also 2 other franchises that are fucking guilty of just churning out a mountain of sequels. One of them is a gem from my childhood. I grew up on The Land Before Time. That film kicked ass. It was a great movie. Legendary film. Kicked ass. But now, there's a mountain of sequels. All of them direct-to-video. All of them poorly made. Most of them shitty fucking musicals. And they should never have been made. At this point, around, let's say, like, part 5, they should just have said, fuck it, and create an animated series. And they did, around part 14 or so. But nobody watches it because it's a piece of shit. It actually makes the movies look good. That's saying a lot when you think about it. Another really guilty party when it comes to sequels is Scooby-Doo. You see, folks, Scooby-Doo originally was just a handful of television specials, and I'm just talking about like movies. They started off as just like television specials. Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, which is one of my all-time favorites. And then, around the time of the release of the first live-action movie, they began to just pump out these shitty, fucking direct-to-video sequels. There are so fucking many that it just makes me wonder, who the fuck is actually financing this shit, and who the hell is dumb enough to buy it? Because I honestly think that kids are a little bit more intelligent than to enjoy half of this crap. But folks, sequels, just in general, similar to remakes, are just Hollywood's excuse to just go and rehash something without actually putting any fucking effort into them at all. Alright? In other words, folks, sequels really have to go unless they're fucking important. Not every sequel has the same awesome impacting power as The Godfather Part 2. Most of them actually resemble more of The Godfather Part 3. But then again, that's because, well, The Godfather Part 3 was also forced and rushed out too. So folks, I really don't know what else to really say. Sequels can be good as long as they're written well. Unfortunately, most of them suck because, well, they are written for shit. The acting is pitiful. Special effects usually suck. There's just so many issues, folks, which come with sequels because they try to make sequels to these huge films with smaller and smaller budgets, which means that they can't do as much as the original film. So, yeah, folks, if you really do want good movies to come forth, you have to really avoid sequels and remakes and prequels and all this other stupid shit. Believe me, folks, I actually could have been talking about prequels, but it then would have been about 10 minutes of me bitching about how much the Star Wars prequels were complete pieces of shit that were doing nothing but giving George Lucas more fucking money that he hasn't fucking earned. So, the less said about that, the better. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this installment of the Epic Rant. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for another episode of the Fanboy Chronicles. And tonight, I actually am wearing a little piece of the fanboy bullshit I'm about to cover. I've had this thing since I was about 9 years old. I got it at a Star Trek convention held in Appleton, Wisconsin. Yes, folks, I'm talking about the Star Trek Fanboys. Now, just as a quick thing, no, I do not know what movie this one's from. I don't know what fucking rank it's for. I just know that it's pretty fucking cool looking. And I'm a pretty big fan of the Star Trek series, both original and Next Generation, and at times DS9. I'm not going to get into that into heavy detail. Now, before I get started, folks, I know a lot of people think I'm just going to spend this whole video like dumping on all of the Star Trek fanboys. By the way, now I'm not going to call them Trekkies. I have a reason behind that. I'll cover it a little bit later. A lot of people think I'm probably going to just talk about how they like to parade around in costume and all this other stupid shit. Well, that is part of it, because yes, folks, outside of anime fanboys and Star Wars fanboys, Star Trek fanboys are the biggest cosplayers out there. That's the anime community term for it. Where they like to find and create or just dress up as various characters, species, races, what have you. In fact, like I said, when I was 9 and I bought this, I walked past people who dressed up as Klingons in full fucking battle gear and like Klingon daggers and all this other happy shit. People who dressed up as fucking Ferengis and Starfleet officers. One kid dressed up as a Borg and he made his costume out of fucking milk jugs. It was actually kind of cool. It was kind of sad with the kid and the milk jugs, but I don't really much care. Anyway. But no, because that really isn't the worst of it, alright? Star Trek fanboys have got this really odd habit of memorizing everything about their series of choice. Because I'm going to tell you right now, folks, most of them have a love towards one series over all others. When they pick that one Star Trek series, they then go out of their way to memorize episodes, to give you every possible detail about these things, and they also like to collect schematics and ship layouts and such for that show. So that way, if they're watching an episode, let's say it's from the Next Generation, and Data's quarters are all of a sudden in a different part of the ship, judging by when he walks out, where it is on a fucking hallway and all this other stupid shit, they feel obligated to say that this episode is full of fucking errors. But hey, that's just fanboys being lame-ass fanboys. Now, the Star Trek fanboy community also loves to argue with each other over the dumbest shit possible, okay? I'm not kidding you, folks. I have been onto Star Trek message boards where they have argued over which series is better, which episodes are better, which captain is better, which movie is better, and these turn into these gigantic flame wars, and these people walk around and they say, yes, I am a fanboy, and I believe that The Trouble with Tribbles is the greatest episode ever. And then they get flamed by a bunch of other self-proclaimed fanboys who will then say, no, it's The Cage, or no, it's, Amok Time, or any other episode from any other series. Wow, just me actually knowing just those few episode names just makes me seem like a little bit of a geek. Well, I am a geek. Anyway, so they really are the worst whenever it comes to inter-fanboy strife, okay? Not even the fucking Sonic the Hedgehog fan boys who bitched about a voice actor or some such stupid crap in those new glitch-riddled games on the PS3 and the Xbox 360. Yeah, the Star Trek fanboys bitching over which female character is hottest is a little bit sadder, okay? Now, let me now just quickly explain one other thing here, also. Amongst all the other, sci-fi fanboy groups, no other one, except for the Star Trek group, insists on learning fictional languages to species you'll only find in their selected shit. You never hear about, Star Wars fanboys going and learning fucking, Huttese, now do you? No, but there are books out there, books and CDs, that will teach you how to speak fucking Klingon. I actually once had one of those books when I was a kid. I was just curious, I was trying it out. I stopped when I got to the seventh letter, the seventh English letter transferred over to Klingon, and the sound basically was you have to sound like you're trying to swallow. Whereas I think it was P was supposed to be. You're supposed to sound like you're both swallowing your tongue and clicking it at the same time. And I went, what? And then that same description was used for 5 other letters. I said, I'm done, and I burnt that fucking book. But yeah, people actually will learn Klingon, Ferengi, Romulan, and every other foreign language in the Star Trek universe. And that just shows that there are people with a hell of a lot more time than I could ever possibly have, and they make me seem like the coolest fucker to ever live. Now, now that I've basically covered all the annoying bullshit, oh wait, there is one other thing about these Star Trek fanboys. Just like every other group I've covered, basically the Dark Knight fans and the Ring of Honor fans, if you mention any other similar thing, they will attack you for it. And in the case of Star Trek, it's any other science fiction series. If you mention Star Wars, they just basically go and they tell you to fuck off. If you mention, Battlestar Galactica, you suck. If you mention Babylon 5, they're gonna fucking lynch you. I don't know why. I don't know why Babylon 5 is such a, hot button, you can't fucking talk about it to Star Trek fanboy sort of thing. But be that as it may, these fucking idiots are just obsessed with saying that fucking Star Trek, the campiest sci-fi series ever made, the one with Kirk and Spock, led to all these other series and is the greatest franchise ever. Okay, I'm not going to argue with that because, frankly, I do believe that Star Trek is better than all of the others, but the other ones all have their positives too. It honestly is not like Star Trek's awesome and everything else is at the bottom of a barrel. No. Now, why didn't I call them Trekkies? Because I know a lot of people were expecting me to just use the term Trekkies and just be done with it. There's a reason. It's because there's a group of fanboys out there to Star Trek who don't want to be called Trekkies. They insist on calling themselves Trekkers. No, I'm not kidding. If this actually is news to you guys, yeah, you got Trekkies, then you have Trekkers. Let me just explain this to you. Do you know what the difference is between a Trekkie and a Trekker? Well, nothing. One of them ends their term of love with IE, the other one ends it with ER. That's the only fucking difference. Okay? I am not kidding. Now, and I've actually gotten messages right here on YouTube from Trekkers going, I really hope that you are going to give those, Trekkies everything because those guys are lame. Because I'm a Trekker. Guess what, dumbass? Trekkers and Trekkies are the same fucking thing. It's similar to Mountain Dew and Mellow Yellow. It's the same fucking thing, just a different label outside, okay? So, now that I've covered that, now that I've said that they're both the same, I'm probably going to get messages from both sides explaining why they're different. And let me just attempt to explain most of what I've heard between both sides. Trekkies think that Trekkers are stuck-up, snobby pricks, which they are, but so are Trekkies. Trekkers think that Trekkies are childish and they're just, immature, they're this, they're that. And Trekkies are, but so are Trekkers. Once more, it's the same fucking thing. Now, folks, I really don't have much else to really say outside of the fact that there's probably going to be a boom in Trekkie Trekkie/Trekker fanism when the new movie comes out. So you guys are probably going to hear a shitload more from them. But I just sort of thought I'd, take care of them now, just that way I can just get them out of the fucking way. Trekkies, Trekkers, you guys are all just annoying pricks who take a campy, cheesy series and you're trying to make it sound like it's the greatest science fiction thing ever. Every single one of you Trekkies and Trekkers and other such Star Trek fanboys, fuck you. Everybody else, take care, live long and prosper, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Beam me up, Scotty. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and once more it's time for a rant. Yeah, I know. This one actually has been requested by numerous people. And by the way, yes, I am taking requests for rants. If you guys have a topic which you think I can rant and rave about and make funny and entertaining, by all means, please send them in. Now, what is then tonight's topic? Well, this topic I've had kind of on my to-do list of rants ever since I wanted to start this series. Reality television. Yes, reality TV. Why the hell do we have to tolerate reality television? I think that's the big question. See, people want to know, what do I think of it? Well, first of all, it sucks, alright? Out of all of the known reality shows that are on television right now, I believe I watch 3 of them. Yeah, that's it. Cops, well, Cops and all shows like it, because there's Cops, there's Jail, there's There's another one that's on with the jail. I'm not sure what it's called right off the top of my head. But those are all watchable, alright? I also watch, even though I don't have cable, I go over to my cousin's place and we watch The Ultimate Fighter. Why? Because that's a fucking reality show that's got a purpose, alright? It's a bunch of mixed martial artists fighting to get a 6-figure contract with the Ultimate Fighting Championship to get high-end fights on their pay-per-views and their fight nights on Spike TV. That is a fucking reality show where the winner actually gets something important. Unlike the fucking Apprentice, where the winner gets to scrub toilets in the fucking Trump Tower for the rest of their lives. Alright? Now, there is one other one that I watch. I watch it because it's so fucking stupid, it's funny. And that's Hell's Kitchen, where the world's biggest poser, Gordon Ramsay, pretends to be pissed off as he screams at a shitload of inept chefs who probably would have a hard time making a box of macaroni and cheese properly. Alright? This shit is funny as hell, guys. No fooling. And that is why I watch it. It's pretty much like watching an hour of train wrecks and nothing but. Now, what do I think of all the other shows, though? What do I think of Survivor and Big Brother and The Real World and Road Rules and Super Nanny? Fuck them all, alright? They all suck. Mind you, there was a show similar to Super Nanny. I haven't seen it I haven't seen it on lately. It was called Nanny 911. Another one that's similar to Hell's Kitchen was so stupid it was funny. But then again, at the same time, if I actually were in that nanny's shoes, I would probably just have had a taser and I would have zapped the shit out of all those fucking kids. Seriously, that is what I would do. In fact, I really wish I had a small taser so I could zap little fucking annoying kids in stores. Mommy, mommy! I didn't mean to get off topic. I just really wanted to talk about my fantasy of jolting small. Anyway. There are just far too many fucking reality shows, guys. I mean, come on. We have had reality shows where people are voted off. We have had ones that are just social experiments. And then we have talent competitions that assholes believe to be reality shows. I don't mean to burst anybody's bubble, but guys, the following are not reality shows. American Idol. Dancing with the Stars, Nashville Stars, So You Think You Can Dance, America's Got Talent. This shit is not fucking reality, guys. These are talent shows, and I have to use the word talent very loosely because that's the one thing that's not in these fucking shows. Because they all either feature people who can't dance, or people who can't sing, or people who can do nothing but they think they're gifted. Okay? Now, there is a reality show that I do not watch, but it does serve a good purpose. Alright, it really does, and that is The Biggest Loser. Alright, because it's a bunch of people who, like me, are overweight. They want to lose some pounds. The big difference here, though, guys, is that unlike them, I am not a fucking attention whore. I am not going to come on to YouTube here every 3 days after I've weighed myself and go, guys, I just lost another 4 ounces! Yay for me! No, I'm not. If I happen to lose weight, I lose weight. If I don't, I don't. It's nobody's business but mine. And if people notice, hey, kick ass. But I don't have to go on TV and win some big cash prize for losing 180 pounds on some crash diet and then go home and just balloon right back up. It doesn't work like that for me. Okay? Now, is there any way to get rid of reality shows? No. There isn't. Reality TV is a cancer, on the airwaves that's here to stay. Why? Well, we just got done with a writer's strike because writers wanted more fucking money. Frankly, I find that rather sad because these assholes are making more than I could ever dream of making, And it's because they're writing shit like Knocked Up and Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo. Movies that I could have written in a fucking semi-conscious state on the toilet, alright? They wanted more money. Now, we've got the Screen Actors Guild threatening to strike. Meaning what? Meaning now that we have the writers back, we're not going to have the fucking actors. Because these assholes want more fucking money. Again, they are making more money than I could ever imagine, and they're making it by reading lines to scripts that I honestly could have written in a fucking vegetative state. My fucking God. So now we're fucked. If SAG strikes, we are completely and totally screwed. We're going to have to put up with even more fucking reality bullshit. And of course, the main hubs of these things, namely CBS and VH1 and Bravo, are going to just completely cave us in with them. We're going to have more Flavor of Love. We're going to have more fucking Surreal Life. We're going to have more Survivor. We're going to have more fucking knockoffs to these shows than we can shake a goddamn stick at. Because greedy little motherfuckers in Hollywood are not happy making 50 mil a year. They want an extra 100 mil so they can buy another fucking house. Guys, I'm really sorry about jumping track here, but this kind of segued so well. Frankly, guys, reality TV is, as I stated, it's a fucking cancer on TV. Alright? Because it's not entertaining, it is not original, it's anything but fucking real, okay? Frankly, you guys watching me spend time ranting about this shit in my own bedroom in front of a white wall is more realistic than an entire episode of Big Brother. Guys, I'm done talking about fucking reality TV. To every single pinhead who's ever been on a reality show, for every person who's ever wanted to be on a reality show, and to all the fucking producers who make this shit, fuck you right in the fucking eye. Guys, I'm done with this rant, but I do want to try to, segue this into one more little point. I've never been this angry in a video in my life. That's not the point that I want to make. I do want to try to come up with a title for this series. If you guys have any clues, by all means, please send them in. If you guys have any ideas for a title for this rant series, please send them in, and I will take the best one. And since I don't even have a title milling around in my skull, the best one's going to take it. Also, just like I said at the top of this video, if you guys have any topics which you want to hear me rant on, by all means, please send them in, because I thank you all for watching this. Take care. I'll see you guys in the near future. Peace out. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for a rant. Yes, tonight I'm going to be discussing a sport that I really cannot stand. It's a sport I wish would just go the fuck away. The sport is stock car racing, but I have to specify NASCAR because, well, I am more exposed to NASCAR. It's a national waste of time. For those of you who don't live in the U.S., you don't know what in the hell NASCAR is, I'll be willing to explain this to you guys. NASCAR is a pseudo-sport where a bunch of rednecks hop into really gaudy-looking cars, and they drive around an oval track for up to 5 hours. Yeah. I don't get it. Okay? I'm going to say that right now. I really don't get the point of NASCAR. And I have really tried watching it. I seriously have. After 20 minutes, I'm changing the channel because it's unwatchable. Who the fuck can find this shit entertaining? Alright? I mean, Jesus, okay. It's a pack of 45 cars. They drive around the same track 300 times. The only bit of driving skill needed is you have to know how to make left turns, how to step on the gas, and how to brake when necessary. That's it. Alright? How the hell is this a sport, and how the hell is it worth putting on television for so many hours a day? Alright? Now, is there any way to help NASCAR make it a bit more entertaining? There are quite a few ways to help. First of all, we have to cut back on the number of laps that these fucking idiots are driving. Alright? 9 times out of 10, the person who's in first place after 50 laps is normally the one who wins it. Alright? So let's just end these fucking races at 50 laps and be done with it. This way, they will take up less time on television, they'll take up less gas, which I'm going to cover the gas issue in just a second on this video, and, hey, it then gives us more time to watch real sports on television, like football, baseball, hockey, real fucking sports. Alright? Or, instead of cutting back on the laps, why don't we get them out of these ugly-ass excuses for cars and put them in go-karts and put them on go-kart track. See, now they have to know how to make both left turns and right turns. Since most go-karts that I've seen nowadays are completely electric, they're not wasting a single drop of gas. None. Alright? See? With either one of those, NASCAR would be helped immensely. Alright? Number 3, why don't you drive around in real fucking cars? Alright? I don't care if it fucking says on the front of your car that you're driving a, Monte Carlo. You're not driving a Monte Carlo. You're driving something that may have the engine of a Monte Carlo, but that's not the same fucking thing. Put these guys in real cars and drive them down city streets. Yeah. Because then, we then have kind of sort of like a Death Race 2, 1000 feel to it. Where we could probably add points if they happen to run over small animals. Oh my God, look at that. Jeff Gordon has just, run over a fucking deer, and that bear's good for 150 points. Hey, that would be watchable. See? I can come up with some real interesting ways of fixing NASCAR. Now, another thing. Why don't we just try moving these cars entirely to hybrid engines, or maybe electric engines? Because, for those of you who don't know, these fucking races suck up tons of gas. Thousands of gallons in a single race across all 45 drivers, or however the fuck many are driving out there. And with gas prices the way they are, and the fact that the oil companies actually have to take the crude oil and turn it into this special bullshit racing fuel for these fucking assholes, isn't helping matters any. Alright? If we were to get rid of racing fuel and force all stock cars to run on some other form, I don't fucking care if it's hydrogen, I don't care if they're running off steam engines, I don't care if they're running off of just fucking electricity. That would save us a ton of gas every year. Our price would probably go down a little bit. It's not going to be like fucking like a 50-cent drop or anything, but it would be at least a little something. Now, one more thing. Let's stop fucking airing NASCAR on television, please. Because, guys, I'm going to be frank with you. 4 hours of NASCAR is torture. Shit, guys, 20 minutes of NASCAR is torture. Almost every single NASCAR fan who I know of fall asleep during the fucking races. You never see that for fans of hockey or football or even fucking curling. For God's sake, curling, one of the lamest sports to ever come out of Canada, curling is a lot more interesting than NASCAR. See, the only thing that NASCAR has going for it is the possibility of crashes and death. So, here is what I would do. Instead of running NASCAR, run something else. Run a fucking movie. Run fucking like reruns of MASH. I don't give a shit. And then, when the time comes, when someone crashes into the fucking wall, or when there's like a multi-car pileup, cut live to it and show it. And then cut back to the movie or the TV shows or whatever, and just bring us back anytime that there's a car accident, because that's all anyone ever wants to fucking watch anyway. Or wait until after the race and sum it all up in like a half-hour show. I would fucking watch that. Show us the start of the race, show us every single crash, and then show us which one of these rednecks fucking won. Ta-da, the end. Now, of course, I know that there are a lot of NASCAR fans out there. Frankly, you guys really gotta find a better fucking sport to watch, because how the hell can you watch NASCAR? Please, if you're a NASCAR fan and you want to respond to this, please do. I want to know what the hell is so fucking interesting about a bunch of rednecks who drive around in a circle for 4 hours. Alright? Stopping only for gas and tires. Alright? Would it actually be the whole fucking, like, redneck war between Ford and Chevy? Is that really the big thing? Or is it just that everyone wants to see Jeff Gordon die so badly that they're willing to watch this shit for 4 hours in the off chance that it'll happen? Please tell me. I'm dying to know. What the fuck are you guys smoking to even enjoy NASCAR? Oh, God. Frankly, I've had more fun watching paint dry than watching a fucking NASCAR race or watch any other form of stock car racing for that matter. Because, hey, guys, I really hope that this rant has been, entertaining. Until next time, this is Hellsing920 telling all of you to take care, and I'll see you guys in the near future. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, I did also want to mention this. For those of you who are fans of my video game reviews, if you want a little bit of an update, if you head over to my live video channel, I will post a description over here. Wow, yeah, I actually know how to mirror now. Yeah, I'll post the link over here. You guys can go check it out. It is a review of the game Heavy Nova for the Sega Genesis. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an epic rant. And tonight's epic rant is about a sport that is fun to play, but boring as fuck to watch on television. I'm talking about golf, alright? For those of you who've never heard of golf or you don't know how it's played, let me make it really, really simple, right? You take your golf club, which is a crooked metal stick. You hit a tiny white ball. You find it, and you hit it again. And you repeat this process until you put it into a small hole that is a couple 100 yards away. Then, you go over to a different tee, and you do it again, and again, and again, until you've done it 18 times. Until you've gone from tee to hole 18 times. That is all of golf. Now, that may sound boring, but believe me, if you actually are with a group of friends, it's actually kind of fun. Plus, also, golf is supposedly therapeutic and relaxing. So, in other words, it's kind of sort of like a multi-acre version of owning a cat. But I'm not here to talk about that because, like I said, golf is fun when you're playing with a group. I'm talking about when they televise golf. Alright? When you televise the sport of golf, you basically are looking at every single viewer and going, we could have put on something cool. I mean, we could have put on, a movie or, fucking reruns of MASH, or we could have given you anything. But instead, fuck you, we're going to give you golf for a few hours. And then, tomorrow, we're going to give you the same fucking thing because the tournament's a 3-day tournament. Oh. Yes, folks, that is how golf works. Now, there are a lot of ways we could fix golf. Exactly, like I said, we could fix NASCAR. First one is one I also mentioned for NASCAR. Instead of showing us the whole fucking tournament, just pre-tape it, show it the following week, but bring it into like a condensed form, like a half hour, 1 hour, 45 minutes, whatever the fuck it'll take, just to show us the interesting shots and all the necessary shit, alright? Because we don't need to see somebody go and hit the ball and have it land on the fairway leading to nothing, okay? However, you can show us whenever the balls land in the water hazard, the bunker, hole-in-one, or just when they fucking chip it in, putt it in, they bounce it off of fucking, somebody's head, or they go and they pick off a bird in midair with it, with their fucking ball, that would all be interesting stuff worth seeing. Everything else, people walking to the hole, people teeing up, people, just swinging in the ball, just landing harmlessly on the fucking fairway or over on the rough, that's nothing. That's bullshit. It's not worth seeing. Now, another problem with golf, commentary. Alright, the commentary on golf, my God. If there was ever such a thing as a verbal sleeping pill,
that would be it. Let me just give you guys a real quick example of how commentary on golf is done. And now Tiger Woods teeing up on the 17th hole. He looks to be using a 3-iron, even though I think he should really have gone more for a 2-wood. But he's going to go with the 3-iron. And he swings, and the ball's got a nasty, nasty slice on it. Is it coming back? No, it's slicing even worse somehow. And it's in the water hazard. And Tiger looks furious. Yee, I never thought that you could wrap a golf club around somebody's neck, but Tiger Woods has somehow proven that it is physically possible. That's it, folks. That's it. It's just whispering and nothing. Okay? I honestly even tried to make it funny, but I don't think it worked. Now, there is a way to fix that. Go into the world of professional wrestling. Go find Jim Ross or Jerry Lawler, Joey Styles, anybody, and have them call it. In fact, fuck, if anyone is decent with, like video editing and you want to try that, by all means, go and take some footage of golf and replace the commentary with commentary from WWE commentators, Ring of Honor, TNA, doesn't matter, and post them as video responses. I actually think that might be kind of funny. Alright, so right there's a good way to fix that. Now, one other problem is how golf is presented, okay? Let me just attempt to let me kind of fill you guys in. This is how it's set up because it's all live. Right? We see as one golfer tees up and swings. What hole? It really doesn't fucking matter. The ball lands and we see them begin to walk towards it. Then we cut to somebody else whose ball is sitting in the sand trap. We never actually saw it go into the sand trap, but we get to see them try to chip it out of the sand trap. They do, it lands, and then they start walking towards it. Then we cut to another golfer. This is how this is done, folks. The only time that we know exactly who's coming up next is when they say, and person X is on the fucking green. Then they'll cut right to that green, and the person will putt right from there. Otherwise, you're just watching assholes hit golf balls with almost no interesting results coming from it. Now, is there any way to fix that? Well, of course. Like I said, pre-fucking tape it and then edit it down to a, sizable length, okay? Now, one other thing, and this actually is just for fun, okay? One thing I hate is whenever you're watching a golf tournament, there's always some jerk off there with a giant sign walking around that just says quiet. You're supposed to be deathly silent while this person hits a small white ball with a crooked metal stick, okay? I believe that since these assholes insist on being on TV, playing a fucking sport that should never be televised anyway, I think we have to spice this up a bit. We have to give every single person in the gallery, every single caddy, and every single golfer some sort of a noise-making device. I really don't care if it's an air horn, or if it's a party popper, or whatever the fuck it might be. Even honestly, if it's just two gigantic pieces of wood that people can just like slam together and make a nice loud noise. Arm the fucking gallery. This way, these guys actually have to work to actually get some decent swings. Then a multi-hour golf tournament might actually be worth watching. Okay? Plus also that may then lead to watching a whole lot of pissed off golfers break their very, very expensive clubs against trees in total and pure anger. And I think that would be absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my rant for tonight. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. Now, I know a lot of you guys have been wondering, and you've been posting messages on the intro video to this series. You've been sending me messages asking, what the hell am I going to cover first? And people had a whole lot of guesses, but none of you got it right. You should all know. Any of you who have watched my various videos here and on live video over like the 1 year plus I've been on the internet as an internet personality, you should always know to expect the unexpected from me. Now, some of you know that I've been a professional wrestling fan for over 18 years. So, yeah, I'm going to talk about a group of fanboys in that little section that drives me absolutely fucking insane. And those are the Ring of Honor fanboys, known in the internet wrestling community as robots. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it down there. It's kind of clever, not too, but it works. For those of you who don't know what Ring of Honor is, let me attempt to explain it as best I can. Ring of Honor is a professional wrestling organization based on the East Coast. They're kind of a group of wrestlers who are trying to show that you can have a company without stupid gimmicks, without stupid characters, without lousy gimmick matches, just technical wrestling. And they prove this by holding shows with gimmick matches, have gimmick characters, they basically are your typical gimmick-laden wrestling organization, but they're just too ashamed to admit it, alright? Now, before anyone starts sending me any, hate mail about that, no, I haven't seen a whole lot of Ring of Honor. I've seen all of 3 things. I watched their 3rd show ever, that was Night of Appreciation, and I've got their first 2 commercially released DVDs, which were Stars of Honor and Bloodstained Honor. That's all that I've seen. I'm basing it off of just that. And if you guys want to prove me wrong, and you've got like events which you want to make a copy of and send to me, just let me know. Because guess what? If you guys are really that devoted to this company, then you actually are probably willing to make a copy of some of your shit on VHS, DVD, doesn't matter, and send it out to a guy who's rather curious. Because I really don't want to spend money on it if it sucks, because I've done that before with companies. I have pissed away money on, XPW. I've pissed away money on that fucking thing. I don't want to make the same mistake twice. From what I've seen, Ring of Honor does have some promise. But the fact that they belittle gimmicks, then turn around and then they have masked characters whose gimmick is that they're nuts. That would be Delirious, who they took from Chikara Pro. Have openly gay tag teams such as the Christopher Street Connection. That was early in their run when they were really heavily against gimmicks. And they just bitch and bitch and bitch about gimmicks, and they also will attempt to belittle the other big companies because on one of their commercial discs, Stars of Honor, which is just them cashing in on all the big names who used to wrestle for them, they take every opportunity possible to take cheap little pot shots at the WWE and TNA. Now, to me, that just seems kind of childish. And their fanboys do the same fucking thing. Now, there is a term in the internet wrestling community, there's a group of people known as YouTube shooters, which are people who basically do what I'm doing right now. They're just sitting in front of a camera talking about wrestling, but they are excessively biased towards one company, and they shit all over the other 2. And they all either believe that WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor is the best of the best, period, and everything else sucks. And there are more Ring of Honor fanboys on the internet than any other company. Now, let me just attempt to say this. I have attempted to talk to a couple of these fucking, Ring of Honor fanboys, and they just drive me nuts. Because a lot of them believe that as long as a wrestler is working for that company, as long as the wrestler is working for Ring of Honor, they are the best fucking athlete in the world. If they leave to go to WWE, or to go to TNA, or to go and wrestle in Japan or Mexico, fuck them, they're worthless. They have all done, not all, most of the fanboys have done this with CM Punk, they've done it with Samoa Joe, they've done it with every single big star who left Ring of Honor for companies where they can get paid more and can actually get TV time because Ring of Honor refuses to get a TV time slot. Or either that, or else the fanboys are bitching because they don't want it to get a time slot for fear of that ruining the magic. Because the only way to get Ring of Honor right now is to have a cable provider which carries their pay-per-views, which they tape like a month and a half ahead of time, so you can get the spoilers right now for the next one coming out, and you're probably not going to miss a whole hell of a lot. Purchase DVDs or videos from sites such as High Spots and RF Video and places like that, or buy the commercial discs as they slowly come out. They've only got 2 out right now. There's 2 more coming out soon. Honestly, the matches are pretty good, but still, it's not really worth the money in the long run. I personally bought both discs for about $10, and I felt kind of screwed on both of them. Now, if you attempt to tell the fanboys that there's anything wrong with Ring of Honor, they will bitch you out to no end. They will flame you, they will spam you. They are the nastiest fanboys out there. Because, hey, I will say this right now. Ring of Honor, what I've seen of it so far is watchable. It is. But there are some guys on there I can't stand. A real good example is Roderick Strong. Alright? The guy is just a backbreaker monkey. I mean, that is all he fucking does, are backbreakers. And okay, yeah, like seeing him do like 5 or 6 of them is cool, but once he happens to get to like 15, 16 of them and everything else he does sucks, it's not worth watching his matches. They are dull and they're boring as hell. And believe me, I saw his fucking match against Matt Hardy. That thing was painful. Now, is there any way to help these fanboys? No. Because they're fanboys. You can't help them. No matter what happens, they are going to stand by Ring of Honor until it either goes out of business or it gets a TV deal. Then they are going to walk away and say fuck it because, like I said, the magic is gone. Because, you see, folks, Ring of Honor fanboys, I believe that they want to be just like the ECW fans. Those rabid South Philly fans who used to go to the high crime area, go and stand outside in 6 inches of snow to go and see 3 hours of wrestling in a fucking rinky-dink bingo hall, and they were devoted. Those were the ECW fans. The Ring of Honor fanboys believe that they are the same way by going on the message boards and flaming everybody, going over to high spots and purchasing every Ring of Honor DVD, or going right over to the Ring of Honor site itself and stocking up on every single best of disc and event they can get their hands on. Frankly, Ring of Honor to me is not that good, and I really don't understand what in the hell the fanboys see. I mean, okay, sure, yeah, it doesn't have the lame-ass storylines which you see in WWE or TNA today, but so what? It has a ton of boring-ass matches. Now, guys, please, if there are any Ring of Honor fans, I have to specify fans because I'm sick of hearing from fanboys on the fucking internet, who want to attempt to explain to me what the hell is the big deal, please, by all means, let me know. And once again, if there are any fans or fanboys who want to prove me wrong and show me how awesome Ring of Honor really is, go ahead and just copy a couple of just go ahead and copy like a few of your things and just fucking let me know, and I'll send you my address. Because, hey, I sure as shit really don't want to pay for it after feeling screwed out of $20 on those first 2 discs. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the inaugural edition of the Fanboy Chronicles. Until next time, this is Hellsing920 telling all you to take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. Tonight's Fanboy Chronicles is one that probably isn't going to mean a whole hell of a lot in the long run, because I'm here to talk about the fanboys and the fanboy insane base of a pop band. Yes. For those of you who don't know, pop music is the ass of the musical body. If every single genre was a part of the human body, pop music would be the ass. Because everything that comes out of it stinks and is full of shit. And most of it, of course, is manufactured. As shit is manufactured inside of the body. But I'm not going to get into a biology lesson here today. The band in question seems to be a carbon copy of a band from the mid to late 90s called Hanson, which was a band of 3 boys who seemed exceptionally girly. Everybody loved them, and then their fame fell out when their balls dropped. And this horrible fate is going to befall the Jonas Brothers very, very soon. First of all, before anyone tells me that the Jonas Brothers don't have fanboys, they have fangirls, I'm not going to listen to it, alright? To me, the term fanboy is a gender-neutral term, which means everybody. I
I don't give a shit what in the hell you have between your legs if you fucking obsess over something in the world of pop culture to the point of near insanity. You're a fanboy. Deal with it. Alright? Now, what about the Jonas Brothers? What exactly have the fanboys to this horrific act done to earn my ire and to earn a spot in the halls of fanboy bullshit, What have they done? Oh, that's easy. They've had the balls to come forward and say that the Jonas Brothers are the greatest band in the history of man. I'm going to say this again, because I do believe that it does bear repeating. They say that the Jonas Brothers, with their 3 fucking albums and their 1 top 10 hit, are better than the Beatles, Elvis, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, and every other rock and pop act to ever exist. Folks, I don't know what the fuck to say to these people. They must just be completely ignorant and stupid. Let me attempt to explain this to you. I hate the Beatles. I always have and I always will. Out of their hundreds of songs, there's maybe only about 4 or 5 I can honestly say I enjoy listening to. Okay? Are you following me? But yet they have earned their spot in musical history amongst the greats. Why? Because they were talented. Because they earned it. By putting out album after album after album of solid music that a good chunk of the world enjoyed. The Jonas Brothers are catering to the lowest common musical denominator. They're going after the Pop-Tart crowd, and you people don't have any fucking taste in music. Do you know how I can tell? Look back at the great one-hit wonder pop acts that have come out. Most of them enjoyed by people just like the Jonas Brothers fans. I want you to look back at songs like Blue, that god-awful Euro-pop shit. I want you to think about the Macarena, or Mambo No. 5. I want you to think about Johnny Ray. If you don't know who he is, God, his song was so shitty. Why don't you think about every single boy band out there who the Jonas Brothers are trying to ape off of constantly. Talking about Hanson, 98 Degrees, the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, fucking O-Town, the list goes on. Folks, the Jonas Brothers are trying to be the Monkees, but they're not as good. And the Monkees sucked balls too. Now you see, folks, the reason why the Jonas Brothers are getting so much attention is because they are a creation of Disney. Alright? Disney has billions of dollars that they can just piss away on worthless acts like this, so they do it. That's the only reason why the Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus are anywhere, is because they have the financial backing of Disney. And the Jonas Brothers, just in some pitiful attempt to try to milk their 15 minutes of fame for every last drop, they're getting a show on the Disney Channel. And oh, what do you know, it's a knockoff of Hannah Montana, only now instead of it being one talent-challenged bitch who can't sing trying to pretend to be a pop star living a second life, it's 4 talent-challenged bitches trying to pretend to be big fucking pop stars and living a second life. Ugh. They sicken me. But the fanboys are even worse. I am so sick and tired of hearing people come to me and tell me about the bullshit that they've had to put up with because Jonas Brothers fanboys refuse to listen to reason that their band is not going to last. Folks, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Alright? According to my cell phone, it is currently November 13th, 2008. By this time next year, the Jonas Brothers are going to be nothing more than a fleeting memory and some wasted space on those god-awful Now compilation CDs. Okay? That's it. That is going to be the whole of the Jonas Brothers by this time next year. I can feel it. Why? Because they are a pop band. They are a manufactured pop band. They are going to burn out as fast as disco did because
They have no soul. It's a band with no reason and no purpose, but yet the fanboys are going to continue to clamor towards it because it's currently the hot new thing. You just fucking wait until this time next year when some new manufactured pop band is going to come crawling out of the muck that is pop music, and every single one of you Jonas Brother fan assholes are going to go and cling on to them and completely forget about your precious Jonas Brothers. It's going to happen. I know it. And you don't know it yet, but it will happen. I guarantee you, it will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I have dedicated more than enough time to these fuckers. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. And tonight's Fanboy Chronicles is one I really didn't want to fucking do. But since so many people insist on fucking requesting it, you're gonna get it right now. Why? Because I'm sick and tired of hearing it. And if I fucking talk about it, maybe it'll shut you guys up. Tonight I'm going to talk about Justin Bieber. No, actually, no, fuck that. I'm not going to talk about Justin Bieber. I'm going to talk about how fucking pointless it was to actually request a rant on Justin fucking Bieber. See, guys, if you guys ever remember, last year sometime, I made a video that said the Jonas Brothers are going to be a complete afterthought within a year. Who do you think took their place? Justin Bieber. See, I would have just taken my old Jonas Brothers video and just, looped in myself saying Justin, like Justin Bieber, but that would just have been too much of a fucking pain in the ass. It actually is less hassle to drag out the fucking screen and just use that. Okay? Now, I'm not going to talk about how much of a piece of shit Justin Bieber is. If you guys really want to know that, my Jonas Brothers video is going to be a response to this one. Have fun. Go watch it and enjoy. Okay? Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, but, what about the fucking bet about it being, 1 year from now? Yes. In fact, I'm going to go one step further. Not only is Justin Bieber going to be a complete afterthought 1 year from now, but within 2 years, I see him appearing on one of those shitty, retarded celebrity reality shows. I'm talking about shit like the Celebrity Apprentice, Celebrity Survivor, or perhaps maybe one of those really, really god-awful ones that pop up on VH1 every so often. I actually can see that happening. Or Bieber will just burn out and overdose on something within 2 years. I don't fucking know. But see, guys, my big question is this: why? Why the fuck did you guys insist on a video about this? Did you actually think I was going to come up with something new? No, I fucking wasn't. In fact, hell, the very fact that you guys think I can pull something out of my ass about some guy that I technically ranted about a year ago is kind of funny. Okay? I mean, no offense, guys, but I cannot work miracles here. And if I actually scripted these, I would just have, pulled out my Jonas Brothers script and read it word for word here. Because that's exactly how retarded doing a video about Justin Bieber is if you've already done one on the Jonas Brothers. You're talking about the exact same shit. So yeah, Justin Bieber is a complete and total piece of dog shit. He's going to be a complete afterthought within a fucking year, and his fans are all shallow cunts who are going to fucking dump him as soon as the next big act shows up. That kind of sums up this entire thing with Bieber. So guys, that's it for this episode of the Fanboy Chronicles. May I never get another goddamn request to cover Justin Bieber again. Fuck him, and fuck everyone who thought I could make a decent video out of it. Until next time, guys. That was awful. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920. It's time for an epic rant, and tonight's epic rant is about something we all own. Cell phones. Yes. Behold my cheap ass cell phone. It works. I'm happy. Now, I'm not here to bitch about cell phones in general, because everyone has one. Everyone has one, and we all use it. I'm here actually to rant more about the features that are on certain phones. Behold my phone as a perfect example of the perfect phone. Behold, a little bitty flip top, keypad. I can make calls. When it rings, I can accept calls. And if I take enough severe, blunt trauma to the head, I can send a text message. I'm going to cover how retarded text messages are in just a moment. But I want to talk about some of the other features on other cell phones first. First of all, why don't we talk about downloadable ringtones? Everyone always says that that's such an awesome feature because you can customize your phone.
I'm able to download any song I want. It makes my phone mine.
Yeah, that only works if you're going to download a fucking obscure song that no one else is going to download, alright? If you pick something that is fucking number 1 on the Billboard pop charts, guaranteed at least 1,000 other people are going to use that shitty sounding song as its ringtone. A real good example, James Blunt's big hit, You're Beautiful. That annoying ass, oh god, I can't stand that fucking song. I knew at least a dozen people who had it as their goddamn ringtone. You know what? If one of their phones goes off and more than 3 of them are in the same area, it's going to be the same problem as if someone had that annoying ass default Nokia ringtone. You know, that that real annoying fucking tone, where a lot of people have that as their default, and they are all trying to, and they're all scrambling to figure out whose fucking phone it is. Same thing happens if you download a ringtone that everyone else is gonna fucking. All right, since everyone's gonna have the fucking Super Mario Brothers theme, everyone's gonna have that whatever the fuck the flavor of the month hit is. Those are really bad ideas for downloadable ringtones. All in all, that feature kinda sucks. Next we have cell phone cameras. I'm going to say this without any, thought whatsoever. Cell phone cameras are completely fucking worthless. Let me try to explain this. For anyone who tells me that cell phone cameras are the reason why we have footage of the Virginia Tech massacre, fuck you, okay? The only thing we got out of a cell phone camera from that is a shot of a parking lot and the faint sound of what may or may not have been gunfire in the background. I honestly could fake that footage using this very camera, the parking lot to the bank across the street, and a pack of firecrackers, okay? It's nothing special, alright? Unless someone had a cell phone camera and they were in one of the halls as Cho Sung-wi is mowing down people, it doesn't show the usefulness of cell phone cameras. Other people are going to say that cell phone cameras can help when you're trying to get footage from accidents. Yes, because your stupid ass was texting and you weren't watching the fucking road, you got hit, so now you can use your nifty cell phone camera to start filming everything. Oh my god. I have friends with cell phone cameras, they got really plastered one night, they were trying to photograph lightning. Alright? That is probably the most useful thing I've seen anyone use a cell phone camera for in any way, shape, or form. And it's retarded. They were taking pictures of lightning, for fuck's sake. The only good feature I found on cell phones nowadays, maps. Yes, if your phone has, Google Maps or MapQuest or any of these other map features, you are set, guys. You are fucking ready to roll. That's useful because it's a map. And you don't have to go through all of the bullshit of folding it. It's especially useful if you don't have a Garmin or a TomTom or any of that other shit in your car. And if you don't have a computer that can automatically give you Google Maps or MapQuest on a much larger screen. Speaking of shit you can do actually on the internet, but people do on their cell phones, or watch videos. I know that YouTube's got a deal going on with at least one cell phone provider, possibly more, where you can watch YouTube videos on your cell phone. If any of you guys are actually watching me on your fucking cell phone, stop it, alright? Because that's fucking disgusting, alright? The fact that people insist on watching a video on a screen roughly about this big, believe it or not, it's roughly about the size of the screen on the Game Boy Micro. If you honestly insist on watching a fucking video in something this big, you are a totally lost cause. And I understand that these are normally for the big, flashy, expensive cell phones with the bigger screen, but I don't give a shit. It's retarded to watch videos from YouTube, or videos from anything for that matter, on your cell phone. I mean, good God. Now let's talk about the stupidest feature of them all. Text messaging. Oh, fuck yeah. I believe this is absolutely retarded. Folks, I've gotten hundreds of text messages from various people. Out of all those text messages I got, maybe about 2 of them were actually worth reading. The rest of them were fucking chain mail and other such bullshit. One I'm really sick of getting is this.
Do you seriously want to see how many people are actually your friend? Send this message out to 10 more people and see if they send it back to you.
Fuck that shit, alright? If you seriously are that hard up for fucking attention that you are going to spread one of those worthless chain messages, God, you are just pathetic. You are. And as for the people who do nothing but text, why? Alright? You're trying to type with a fucking number pad. That is just annoying as fuck. Folks, look at this. I want you to just take a good long look at this fucking keypad. People actually are trying to type messages with this shit. I don't really understand why or how, but they do. And the one thing that always floors me is it would take you the same amount of time to just flip open the phone, call whoever the fuck you want to send this message to, and talk to them. Yes, talk to them. There are even cell phones now that have voice-activated text messaging. So instead of calling them to talk to them, you're going to talk into your phone and send them a text-based version of what you just said. It's the same fucking thing as voicemail, only lamer. Because voicemail is actually decent. Good fucking God. Folks, I swear to God, if I see one more person just fucking randomly text messaging random stupid shit, I'm gonna fucking scream, okay? Because first of all, you're pissing away money every single time that you send one of these worthless ass things. Unless of course you're on a track phone or a Net 10 or Simple Freedom, whatever, then you're pissing away minutes doing that. Okay? You're just pissing away minutes, sending messages such as LOL or want me to swing over? No, fucking call them and talk, you lazy bitches. Jesus Christ. Now, back to Apple and their new iPhone. This thing is the best example of what shouldn't be on a cell phone, because it's got everything. It has internet access, it has downloadable ringtones, it has text messaging, it has a camera, it has everything you could possibly imagine, plus it has an MP3 player to boot. Guess what? I've already got a fucking MP3 player. It's sitting right over here. I don't need that on my fucking cell phone, okay? It's not like an MP3 player is that big a thing that it has to be connected to your cell phone. And what happens if you're fucking listening to a song and your phone rings? Well, you have to shut off the song and answer the phone. You can do the same goddamn thing with just the phone and the MP3 player. If I actually had the MP3 player in my hand, I could use it as a visual reference. But it's roughly about this big. It's roughly about the size of my camera remote, alright? So you have to shut off this to answer this. It's the same fucking thing. Good God. People just like to just piss away money on fucking cell phones with features that are completely worthless and pointless. Folks, I would love to rant on this more, but I really think I'm just droning on. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this epic rant. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and I've been getting a lot of videos lately. People have been sending me a lot of stuff, and it has to do with something going on the East Coast, in New York City. I'm going to say 3 little words. Some of you are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of you are going to have absolutely no clue. And I'm going to try to explain everything, because I find this story to be absolutely retarded. Those 3 words are Ground Zero Mosque. For those of you who have no idea, let me give you the full story. There's a small mosque. It used to be a Burlington coat factory, but it was converted into a mosque. It's 2 blocks away from Ground Zero. Alright? I want you to keep that distance in mind. 2 blocks away. They want to take the building, they want to tear it down, and they want to build in its place a 13-story community center. Okay? I'm going to repeat that also, because this is important. 13-story community center. 2 blocks away from Ground Zero. One of those 13 floors is going to have a mosque. Very small mosque, one basically the size of what's in the former Burlington Coat Factory right now. Now, you hear that and you think, well, what's so bad about this? Well, see, one of the videos I was sent, I am not going to give you a link to it. If you seriously want to see this thing, you're going to have to find it yourself. The video is called Kill the Ground Zero Mosque TV Ad. This ad does everything in its power to misinform everyone who sees it. And according to what I've been told, this thing is airing in New York City quite often right now. The ad says, they declared jihad on us. Who's they? Apparently, every Muslim on the planet declared jihad upon us. Not just the select few lunatics who actually did. That's their first bit of the message. And that these complete monsters want to build a 13-story mosque. There it is, they say mosque. No point do they ever say a community center, no. They think it's a 13-story mosque, being built right on Ground Zero. So the only thing which they got right was the size of the building. But this video, this ad, as well as a lot of other things that are going on in New York City right now, are pissing off people left and right. They are flipping out because this mosque apparently is some sort of affront to God. This 13-story community center is spitting in the face of the 3,000 people killed on 9/11. Excuse me? How is a community center spitting in the face of these 3,000 people? How the hell is this 13-story building open to the public worse than the adult bookstores and the strip clubs that are closer to Ground Zero than it is? Go ahead, tell me. I'm dying to know, because that's one thing every single one of these narrow-minded, bigoted dickheads don't get, is that it's a community center. Nobody would care if they said that it was a community center, but these people, and I would call them racists, but frankly, you know, Muslim is not a race, it's a religion. So, these bigots are trying everything in their power to get this one mosque shut down. One person made a comment in public. This is a rather high-ranking figure in the United States, and this man sickened me with his comment. Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. He basically said, well, they have every right to build it here, which they do. They have every right to build it there. It's private property. But Reid continued in saying they should build it elsewhere. Why, Harry? Go ahead. I would love to see you do another press conference explaining why. Because, you know what? The way I see it, and the way a lot of people who actually have a brain see it, the 19 people on those planes who crashed them into the towers, into the Pentagon, and the one plane that crashed in that field, the 19 people who orchestrated all of that are not Muslims. No. I refuse to say I refuse to say that was the act of Muslims. That was the act of terrorists. Alright? I see them as terrorists more than I see them as Muslims. That should be how everybody sees it. Because you know what? There is no religion out there that is as evil as some Americans want to make Muslims out to be. Alright? I am sick of hearing about this. And every time I see news coverage, and I see all these people on the streets of New York City protesting this community center, it makes me sick. Whatever happened to the time in this country when all men were created equal? Now, I have a challenge here. Because I know a lot of people who know about the Ground Zero Mosque, and they have made comments about. I want to hear from you. Why shouldn't this thing be built? I'm going to lay down a handful of ground rules on this one. because I don't want to see a bunch of narrow-minded, stupid responses. Number one, at no time can you mention that this is a Muslim community center or that a mosque is going in. I have already established that I see that more as a terrorist act and not the act of civilized Muslims. Intelligent Muslims. No, terrorists. Alright? Apparently a lot of these people think that the words Muslim and terrorist are interchangeable. No, it's not. So you're not allowed to mention that. You're not allowed to mention how close it is to Ground Zero because, like I said, there are strip clubs and adult bookstores which are closer. And if you're going to mention how close that is, why don't you tell me why it's okay for there to be these other shadier establishments closer, but we can't have this one community center there? Let's see, is there anything else? Are there any other ground rules I could put down for this challenge? See, you can't mention the distance, can't mention... you're not allowed to call it a mosque, because it's not a mosque. Yes, there will be one inside this 13-story building. But that's going to be a rather small chunk of it. It's going to be a community center more than anything else. So please, tell me, what do you have against a community center being built 2 blocks away from Ground Zero? I would love to hear these. I know I'm going to get responses, and I know a lot of them are going to be from some of the most bigoted, narrow-minded assholes this site has to offer. I can feel that. Because I know that that's how some people function. I just wanted to get this off of my chest. I'm hoping that people watch this video and they understand that there is no reason to complain about this supposed mosque. There's none. At all. I'm going to end this video now. And I understand a lot of people always like it whenever I do something that's a little bit funnier and this is a little bit heavier than anything I've ever done. But this topic has been just burning a hole in me for damn near a week now. Ever since I was hearing heavy coverage of it on NBC, CBS, because I don't have cable, so I don't know how much coverage this is getting on Fox News or MSNBC or CNN. But I can assume that Fox News is doing everything in their power to demonize this because that's exactly what Fox News does. So, until next time, guys, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920 and it's time for an epic rant. Tonight's epic rant is all about e-begging. Yes, my friends. Talking about a subject that just pisses me off to no end, and I'm going to explain why. First of all, a lot of the people who actually had requested that I do a rant on all these cyber begging jerk-offs, they don't quite understand the difference between asking for help and e-begging. And I'm going to attempt to explain the difference right now. Asking for help is when you need money for something which is important, alright? Things such as, yeah, I just said such as twice, fuck you, I don't care. The rent, electric bill, water bill, heating bill, groceries, shit that you need to fucking survive. By the way, rent can also be swapped out with fucking mortgage payments, the same damn thing. That's asking for help. E-begging, though, is when you ask for something that you don't need, and oftentimes you don't ask, you demand your viewers to give you money. I have seen some of these videos where the person doesn't even say, I'm asking you. They go, I demand you to send me $7,000 for a fucking computer. No. Piss off. Alright? Or the assholes who say, I want to go to college, but the college I want to go to is in France. So I'm going to need you guys to give me money for tuition, room and board, plane tickets, and classes to learn French so I can go there. If you don't know French, fuck you and go find a college close to your home. See? Enough said. The biggest one, though, the one that bothered me the most, was some asshole. He sounded British. I'm not even sure if the video's up anymore. I haven't even bothered to fucking look. This douchebag was asking for a fuck ton of money to build a recording studio.
No, folks, for once I didn't stutter. He wanted to build a recording studio. And instead of actually trying to pony up the money himself for something that was bound to make him money in the end if he actually knew how to record shit properly, I'm not sure if he did, he asked his viewers to give him money to build a fucking recording studio. What kind of drugs does a person have to be on to think something like that's a good idea? God damn it. All the hell. Folks, the one thing I hate though the most about this thing, about fucking e-beggars in general, is exactly what they are doing, you see. I don't mind that they are asking for money, because, shit, every single human being is guilty of asking for money at some point in time. The fact of the matter is, they take advantage of their viewers. What I mean is, they usually don't begin to pull this shit until they have a ton of subs. Until their videos are getting 2,000 views or more, maybe even 10,000 views or more, without any hassle. That is when they drop this bombshell of, hey guys, I want a PlayStation 3. I don't need one, I want one right now, and I want you guys to send me the money for it. That's when they begin to pull that kind of arrogant bullshit. Now, I know some people have accused me of, e-begging because I've got my PayPal address on my YouTube front page. Yeah, oh yeah, you can see it on there, hopefully. Now, the reason why I have mine there is not to get fucking filthy rich off my viewers. No. I have compared it to being a street musician. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about the street musicians, I'm talking about people who they stand out in a city corner, guitar case open, and they're just playing to every single person walking by. And some of those people will go, well, this music's pretty good, and then they'll toss in $1. Or they'll toss in 50 cents. They'll toss in $2, whatever. They will toss money into the case. Folks, I can't play a fucking guitar, so the PayPal address kind of doubles as my case. If you guys happen to think that my video has entertained you to the point where you actually, for some oddball reason, feel fucking compelled to send me like $2, cool. I'm not asking, I'm not begging. If it happens, it happens. Awesome. This is the only time I'm ever going to make big attention to it. Because, folks, if I absolutely want a ton of money, I am not going to milk you guys of a lot of money. I will just milk a lot of time from you. Because I'll just tell you to go over to my Expo TV page, also linked on my channel page, where you guys just have to watch other videos of me. That's all. As I do various product reviews and shit. That is actually earning money from your viewers in a fucking responsible way. You aren't just going, I want you guys to donate right fucking now because I am a god. No. None of that shit's ever gonna come from me because I fucking respect you guys too much to actually try to pull that sort of bullshit, alright? And personally, in my humble opinion, every single e-begging piece of dog shit needs to go the fuck away. And they hopefully will burn in the deepest, darkest pits of hell for taking advantage of their viewers to get their hands on worthless, trivial, material goods that are unnecessary. Folks, until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an epic rant. And this epic rant has a very simple title. It's called I Hate People. I am here to talk about a whole shitload of different types of people who just drive me absolutely batshit crazy. So let's just kick this off with, of all people, a group I call the pop culture catchphrase artists. These are the idiots who think it's clever to, instead of coming up with something original to say, they quote movies, TV shows,
all that type of happy bullshit. This was especially prevalent in the late 90s up until around 2001, when people felt obligated to quote Office Space, Austin Powers, Survivor, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and a bunch of other shit, but that was sort of the main chunk of it. And if you want a really good example, when I was in high school, I used to take a few acting classes. There was a kid in that class who thought it was so funny for him to do, impressions of Dr. Evil and quote the Austin Powers movies. First of all, his fucking impression was terrible. The lines he used never fit in with the conversation. He just did it to get a little bit of attention. And if I hadn't have controlled my temper any, he would have gotten just the attention that he fucking deserved, because I was about this close to caving in his skull with a fucking textbook. So nowadays, it's people who think that it's just absolutely fantastic to quote The Office and to quote Napoleon Dynamite, or just to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger. What line? Any fucking line. All right. Basically, folks, go and look for an album by a band called Austrian Death Machine. A YouTuber, a guy I greatly respect, his name is Spoonie1, actually did a video where he talks about Austrian Death Machine. The music is fantastic. Take any of those song titles, and these fucking idiots will use it in normal conversation. Okay? These people drive me absolutely nuts. I just wish I could just walk up and punch every single one of them in the face about a dozen times. Second group are people who use internet gaming lingo when they're not gaming. These are the fucking idiots who feel obligated to use the word pwned in situations that don't call for it. Alright? Example, like people who talk about religious shit. They will say that God pwned the entire earth except for Noah who built an awesome ark. Alright? You don't need to use pwned. You don't even have to use smote. You can just say God. You can say that God looked down and said, Noah, heads up. Everybody else, fuck you. And then there was a gigantic ass flood. You don't have to use pwned for that. These people also like to use the word uber for everything. Something is uber, awesome, or, this kill was just uber pwnage. Guys, last time I checked, uber is a German variation on the word super. Why do you have to say uber? It sounds fucking stupid every single time that you say it. Same thing also with the people who feel obligated to pronounce the word the with its oftentimes phonetically, purposely misspelled te. T-E-H. Now, I can understand if people spell that and people type it out like that and it's an honest-to-God typo. There are fucking idiots who will actually spell that on purpose, but that's a totally different group for a totally different day. But the idiots who actually pronounce it as te instead of actually, cobbling together the 7 brain cells they've got to actually pronounce it as the, these people need to be stopped. Once more, I'd love to just line them all up and just grab a fucking baseball bat and just clock them all right in the fucking skull like a fucking time or two. Another group I can't stand are the idiots who walk out of theaters and they spoil the movie for you. By the way, for those of you who don't like to have movies spoiled, movies that everyone knows the ending to, you might want to fast forward a little bit, because I'm going to be spoiling a couple of movies here for you. These are the people who would walk out at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. They see the huge line of people waiting to see it next. They go walking down the way going, oh my God, I cannot believe that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's dad. Those people were probably lynched about 10 minutes later because nobody wanted that to be spoiled. Or the idiots who come walking out of The Sixth Sense going, so wait a minute, are you trying to tell me that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time? Again, I don't care how stupid The Sixth Sense was. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people did not want the ending spoiled for them. Those people were probably brutally murdered in the fucking parking lot, or they were probably hunted down afterwards. Okay? I actually had this happen to me once, and I was going to mention this in my theater rant, but I kind of ran out of time. I was in line to see Spider-Man. It was the second showing that day. It was 2:30 in the afternoon. One one guy came traipsing out going, hey guy, he actually walked down the whole aisle, like, hey guys, guess what? Uncle, Ben dies and the Green Goblin gets impaled by his fucking glider. And I actually put my arm out and I stopped him. And I looked at him and said, look here, fuckhead. Number one, Uncle Ben has to die. It's part of Spider-Man's, origin. And number two, the Green Goblin's been killed at least a dozen times in the fucking comic books. It's not at all a surprise. You don't have to fucking announce it. I think that we all know it before we even go in. He tried to spoil it for everybody. Of course, he did say that, Goblin was impaled by his glider, but oh well. I can't stand those people. Finally, one more group who I cannot stand are parents who don't know how to discipline their kids. Just picture this, folks. You are inside of a Shopko, Kmart, Walmart, a mall, and you're having a grand old time. You're purchasing shit that you either want or stuff that you need, or you're just, bumming out with friends. And then you hear, from a far distance away, the gentle shriek of a child who's never been spanked in his life. A kid who thinks that because his mom won't give him ice cream, or won't give him this toy, or won't let him buy a hooker, or whatever the fuck the kid's whining about, he will scream at the top of his lungs. The whole time, my first thought is, somebody kill it. Somebody kill it with fire. It sounds like it's in so much pain that, fuck, if I had a gun, I'd walk over and I'd shoot it. Alright? And these parents? Do they tell their kid to shut up? No. Do they spank them in public, which would probably get them to shut the fuck up? No. Do they take them out of the fucking store and go lock them in the car? No. What do? They tune the kid out. They tune their shrieky, annoying, spoiled little fucking kid out to allow the entire store to listen to their little Jimmy or their little Susie go shrieking because they didn't get the toy that they wanted, or that the store is out of wheeze, or whatever the fuck the problem is. Folks, during one of my earlier rants, I talked about how I wanted a low voltage taser so I could just zap these fucking kids. I do mean it. I would love to just walk around stores and listen to these kids flip out and then just, shut up, you little fucker. I'd love to do that. I would. It would make me so happy. Or I just walk around with one gloved hand. And if a kid is fucking acting up, I grab him, wham! One hard shot and I just walk away. I would love to do that so much because these parents don't know how to discipline their fucking kids. And that's a different rant for a different day. So folks, I have now vented a little bit of rage here. And I've probably turned off a whole lot of parents who watch me because they don't spank their kids or discipline them in stores. Or people who spoil for movies, or they use the term pwned, whatever the fuck may have pissed you off. I really hope that, that I do honestly respect you, and if you just change those little minor problems, you'd be even more kick-ass than you are to begin with. So ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920 and it's time for an epic rant. Tonight's epic rant is a sequel to one that I have already done, but this one's got a slightly new spin on it, folks. Welcome to I Hate People Holiday Edition. Yes, folks, I am bringing out a video that a lot of people seem to really, really enjoy. I'm putting a little bit of a holiday spin on it. So yes, folks, once more, this is a video about people who just piss me off, and this time around they all have to do with the holiday season. Or rather, more the holiday shopping season. Because I cannot stand the fact that there are so many retards, rejects, and assholes who you run into when you're out trying to find the perfect gift for your friends and family members. Shit you not. Now, let's start with the biggest shopping day of the whole holiday season, Black Friday. Any anybody who shops on Black Friday is a fucking retard. Let me attempt to explain why. First of all, most people go shopping on Black Friday to buy normal shit that you could get any other day at the exact same price. Why the hell fight with the fucking crowds for just that? Yeah. Unless you're going to purchase a big ticket item. I'm talking about televisions, video game systems, Blu-ray players, that kind of shit. Yeah. Just, stuff that is like $150 or more on average. Black Friday means nothing to you, unless you're buying that kind of shit. And even then, the deals are normally not good enough to warrant the fucking hassle of fighting with this bunch of retards to get to them, alright? First things first, folks. You've got all the trampling. Alright? This year, it was a Walmart employee was trampled as he or she, I don't remember the gender of the now sadly deceased, went to open the doors to let all of these Black Friday rejects in. And since these people don't have the common courtesy to just walk in gently, actually pretend to be civilized, they trampled this poor Walmart employee, trampled the person to death. To every single person who was at that Walmart, I think it was in Indiana maybe, I'm not real certain on that, every last one of you should be fucking ashamed. Because you, even if you were in the back of the fucking crowd, you were helping by pushing the entire mob forward. Fuck every single one of you, and fuck every one of you retards who think Black Friday is something ultimately special. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, you could go on to Amazon.com, go over to Overstock.com, go over to eBay, and you're going to find these same deals without the hassle, the crowds, and the other annoying bullshit, okay? Now for the rest of the holiday shopping season, now that I've gotten the Black Friday BS taken care of, the people who bring their kids with them when they go holiday shopping. Let me say this right now. If you're going shopping for your little Bobby or your little Becky, don't bring them along. Because I'm going to tell you right now, nothing drives me more insane than browsing about a Walmart or a Kmart or a Shopko and seeing the toy aisle just completely overrun by screaming kids and parents who don't give a shit. Now, this is similar to one of the things I mentioned in my previous I Hate People video, because the parents don't listen and they force it upon everybody else because they're not willing to tell their kids to shut the fuck up, and they're not willing to slap them in the back of the head if it means it's going to keep them quiet. Alright? And of course, the kids are going to constantly scream and beg for whatever the fuck toys they see. And of course, the parents have to come up with some kind of a, little clever, lie, such as like they are shopping for a nephew, or they're shopping for their boss's son, or some such bullshit. Believe me, my fucking dad used to pull that on me until, I got wise. Anyway, please, folks, if you're going to think about bringing your kids shopping with you, don't, okay? Just don't. Go find a babysitter, go find a family member who's not going out into the maelstrom of shit that day, and let them watch your screamy, annoying, squealy kids while you go and shop for them, okay? It's the least you can do. You can at least attempt to be a little bit fucking considerate of everybody else. Group number 3. This has to do with after you've gone out of the store. The assholes in the parking lot who stalk you. Now, I'm not talking about they follow you with a fucking knife and then they go and slit your throat and they take whatever the hell popular item you got and they run off. No. I'm talking about the assholes in their cars who stalk you, trying to find that perfect parking space in the parking lot. You guys have all witnessed this. You have just walked out of the mall or the store, whatever the fuck you're walking out of, and you see this asshole normally in an SUV or a pickup truck, and they're just circling the lot, circling it again and again and again, because they have to find that perfect spot, that ultimate parking space. And they are not going to stop until they find one that's close to the door. Even though there's still 50 spaces in the back of the parking lot, and most of these people could actually stand to use a little bit of exercise. I know I'm one of them. That's why I usually park in the far back. Anyway, but instead of doing that, they need to get a closer space. So when they see somebody walking out, they will immediately pull up behind them, and they will puddle along at 2 miles an hour, waiting for you to get to your parking space so they can snipe it from every other driver. Listen here, douchebag. Knock it the fuck off. There are plenty of spaces. Go find one, park, shut up, go in, buy your shit, and get out, okay? There shouldn't be this big deal about needing to find the ultimate space, okay? Parking lots are all identical. There is no space that is better than any other space. As long as you don't park in the handicapped spaces when you don't have any sort of a disability, you're fine. Every other space is cool. Well, also as long as you don't try to jam one of those big, oversized, unnecessary SUVs into a compact space. But that's far beside the point. Anyway, now that I've got them out of the way. Next one, the assholes who get into fistfights in stores. Yes. Folks, this one kind of ties into the fucking Black Friday retards. Because a lot of them will actually engage in fist fighting when they're out trying to do their, holiday shopping. Folks, I'm going to say this right now. I don't care how popular Tickle Me Elmo was. There was no need to get into a fist fight over it. I could say the same thing about the Wii, about Furby, about every other hot toy item, or any other sort of like hot tech item. All right, there's no need to get into a fist fight over it because last time I checked, you can get this shit everywhere. You can go look in other stores. It's called shopping around. If this place doesn't have it, go try elsewhere. If Shopko doesn't have it, go to Walmart. If Walmart doesn't have it, go to Kmart. If Kmart doesn't have it, go to the mall and look. And if they don't have it, go to Amazon, go to Overstock, go to eBay, go anywhere. Just fucking, there's no need for fist fighting. Alright? And normally the fist fights come from soccer moms who need these fad items because they are a status symbol, similar to Starbucks coffee cups. The only reason why anyone ever spends that much fucking money on a cup of coffee is because the actual cup makes them look big and important. And guess what? In the eye, and of course the soccer moms, in the eyes of the other idiot soccer moms, having this hot popular toy for your kid who's going to look at it, who's going to play with it for about 5 fucking seconds and then toss it aside, that means the world to them. So, folks, that is it for this episode of the Epic Rant. Until next time, take care, happy holidays, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an Epic Rant. And once more, similar to last week, folks, it's time for a nice festive Epic Rant, as I talk about a phrase that I cannot stand. That phrase is the war on Christmas. Yes, the war on Christmas. Let me just attempt to tell you guys where most of this term comes from. Usually it comes from Fox News. Because every year they feel obligated to put up a news story where they bitch because some retail chain has replaced all references to Christmas with the word holidays on their website and in their stores. They see this as these stores, be it Target or be it the Home Depot or be it any of the others, attempting to remove Christmas from the world. For everyone else who sees exactly how fucking mind-numbingly stupid that kind of a statement is, let me just say, it is very stupid. These stores are not attempting to remove
Christmas from the general public? No. For every single one of you morons who don't know a damn thing about marketing, let me inform you. There are other religions out there besides Christians. There are other holidays around this time of year besides Christmas. So, if you want to get maximum profit, you want to attempt to come up with some sort of a neutralized term that encompasses everybody and won't offend, well, at least logically won't offend anybody. Thus, the terms Happy Holidays and Season's Greetings have become normal. And everybody loves it, except for these lunatic Christians and these right-wing douchebags who think that it's Christmas or nothing. Now, folks, I am going to tell you this right now. I am a non-Christian who celebrates Christmas. I don't celebrate it for the birth of Jesus. I celebrate it mainly for the family gatherings and the gift exchanges. That's actually how a lot of people function nowadays, and that's fine. Now, frankly, I don't fucking care what anybody tells me for a seasonal greeting. I don't care if they tell me season's greetings, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Joyous Kwanzaa, whatever in the hell the Ramadan greeting is. I really don't know it, unfortunately. If anyone knows it, please post a comment with it. I'm rather curious. Or even if it's something completely vulgar like, hey, fuck your mother, as long as it's intended as a holiday greeting that is supposed to make people feel happy, it's fine by me. I'm not going to be offended. Actually, I might be offended if someone were to walk up to me and just go, fuck your mother, but besides that. Now, Fox News is going after the bullshit aspect of the supposed war on Christmas, but they completely forget about the bigger issue here. The fact that there are organizations who actually are on a war against Christmas. These organizations are out there attempting to destroy the word Christmas and try to destroy the entire Christmas feel. Let me attempt to explain why. Now, these people go after city halls for putting up nativity scenes. And that's kind of fine because there is a separation of church and state thing that we have to look into. But there are some city halls that put up everything. They not only have up stuff for Christmas, but they also have up stuff for Hanukkah, Ramadan, Kwanzaa, and any other holiday which happens to come up around this time of year. But yet still these organizations will go to those city halls and will complain simply on the nativity scene. Even though there's shit for every other holiday around it, or near it, they still bitch about that one aspect of it. And these fucking lunatics go even further than that. I once had one of these morons come knocking on my front door, and they were telling me ways to have a more happy season. They told me, point blank, I am not allowed to call the 6-foot-tall evergreen in my living room a Christmas tree. I can call it anything else I wish. I can call it a Hanukkah bush. I can call it a festive tree. I can call it a holiday hedge. I can call it anything I fucking well want. I just can't call it a Christmas tree. Listen here, douchebags. You have no right to tell me what I can call that tree in my living room. If I honestly insist on calling it Pete and feeding it beer, that's my choice. I don't need assholes like you telling me that that's wrong. As far as I'm concerned, it's a fucking Christmas tree. I'm going to be happy to call it a Christmas tree. Also, these people, going back to the whole City Hall, nativity bullshit, they'll also go to churches who put up the same shit. Are you fucking kidding me? Churches. Catholic churches, Protestant churches, every single Christian branch of a church, normally they put up something, and it's normally a nativity scene. I don't see a problem there. Why? Because these churches celebrate Christmas. Let them put it up. Quit bitching to them about it. It's their choice. In fact, hell, folks, this is all about choice. And if these people wish to call a Christmas tree a Hanukkah hedge, let them. But they also have to understand that everyone else also has choice. All right? Also, these people want to butcher classic films and TV specials. Some of them have actually attempted to get CBS to go and do some creative editing to rename their most famous classic, Happy Holidays, Charlie Brown, and remove every essence of Christmas. Are you kidding me? You have to be joking. No. Folks, that actually would be like taking, let's say, one sec. That'd be like taking this beast right here. Christmas Time in South Park. I just bought this thing and I fucking love it. Taking every single one of these 7 episodes and removing every reference to Christmas on them. No! That's fucking retarded. You don't take Christmas specials and holiday films and fuck with them. If you truly are that offended, don't watch them. It's that simple. If you personally think that Frosty, which has almost no reference to Christmas in it to speak of, it's more of a winter special, if you seriously think that that thing is going to completely destroy everything that isn't Christian, then don't fucking watch it. I honestly don't fucking watch Frosty because I think it's stupid as hell. But that's my choice. See, folks, I am so sick of hearing about the war on Christmas, alright? I don't care what holiday you personally celebrate. If you happen to even celebrate a holiday at all. Whichever one you opt to celebrate, cool, have at it, and happy holidays to you. I wish you nothing but the best. And I kind of hope people have the same attitude towards me. They don't care what I personally celebrate as long as I have fun with it. So folks, that is it for this epic rant. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace and happy holidays to you all. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for the Fanboy Chronicles. Tonight's Fanboy Chronicles is going to be a pretty tough one. In fact, this is probably the hardest one I've ever had to do. It's also the one I never thought I would ever have to do. I'm not kidding. It seems I have some fanboys. And we all know my opinions on fanboys. Regardless of what in the hell they are fanboys of, they sicken me to no end. Now it's time for me to tell them to their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I have fanboys. Do you want to know how I found out? This is real easy. This goes back to my Ring of Honor fanboy rant. You see, it seems that a whole lot of the Ring of Honor fans and fanboys decided to send video responses to that one. In fact, that was probably the most responded video I've ever had. A lot of them were excessively negative and hateful towards me, and they called me stupid, they called me a retard, this and that, and I didn't mind. One guy kept it very, very level. He said, well, he really hasn't seen enough, but I do have to say that I do have to correct him on a few things. It was a very level-headed video, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. But my fanboys took great offense to that one. They sent this guy nasty messages. Not even comments, messages. I found this out after I commented on his video attempting to clarify a few things, and then he sent me a message, and then we started trading messages back and forth, and then he's the one who actually suggested that I do a Fanboy Chronicles against my own fans, or rather my own fanboys, because of the messages that were sent to him. I really should have asked him for copies of these, so that way I could have read the nasty, hateful bullshit that you idiots were sending, but unfortunately I wasn't thinking about it at the time. And it has only gotten worse since then. Now, in a more recent event, a friend of mine here on YouTube named Just Keep That In Mind posted a video. It used footage from one of my more recent videos, which was my sub for sub rant. He took it and he did some very interesting creative cuts to make it seem like I was picking on and mocking another YouTuber I respect named Darkness the Curse. And a lot of my fanboys, I can tell that they are fanboys because they were writing to me asking me to do something I would never do. And that's have a video removed. Because it's mocking me or it's stealing my footage or whatever the fuck lame-ass reason you guys were coming up with. Okay? I could name a lot of YouTubers who have pulled that very same bullshit, and I've already named one of them in a previous video,
but I'm not going to here, because it's not worth mentioning them here. I'm not them, alright? I personally thought that the video was funny. Darkness the Cursed found it funny. Since only you idiots have been actually offended by it, fuck you, the video stays. And let me say this much also. To every single message I've gotten about trolls who've made videos that are fucking like hating on me for various reasons, I don't care. A good chunk of those are also funny, so I'm not going to touch them. Unless somebody makes a video featuring footage of me that I find exceptionally offensive, I'm not going to have it pulled. Get it? See, guys, it's not that hard. And also, to all of my fanboys, I'm not begging you people to go out and attack other fucking YouTubers. YouTube is a place where you can come and express your personal opinions, no matter how intelligent or stupid they might be. If you want to be a Christian and you want to come on YouTube and babble a whole bunch of hateful bullshit about how Muslims, Jews, and atheists are the most evil people on the planet, that is your right to do so. And as long as people leave constructive comments attempting to get you to see the error of your ways, it's fine. When you start sending nasty, hateful messages back, you become part of the problem. See, it seems that most people haven't learned that we have to learn how to communicate with each other in intelligent and interesting ways, okay? Everybody, it seems, every single hateful rat bastard on YouTube always seems to want to go after somebody's mother, somebody's weight, someone's sexual preference, religion, or any other minor fucking nothing that they seem to find as some sort of a character flaw. And my fanboys are rather horrible with this. Now, I'm not asking you guys to stop watching me. I'm asking you to tone it the fuck down a little bit. Because, unlike other groups of fanboys who make the fans look bad, because of the messages I have gotten from people are basically accusing me of sending my shock troopers out to get them, you bastards are making me look bad. Okay? I completely respect the fact that you guys enjoy my videos, but please, for the love of fucking God, don't go attacking others because they don't like me. Okay? I have lived my entire life with people not liking me. I'm used to it. The whole world should be used to it. Nobody's that good. Okay? That's half of the problem. The other half comes from Skype. Yes, for those of you who don't know, I do have a Skype account. You can find my Skype screen name over on my YouTube channel. Go and check it out. And if you guys wish to add me, by all means, go for it. Now, let me say this. Excuse me. I would love to talk to you guys. I really would. I don't want to talk about me. Alright? I don't want to go into long, lengthy talks about how awesome I am. I don't need that. I understand you guys have a lot to say about how much you love every single video I've done, and you want to go into excessive detail on every single video about every single thing I've said that you found awesome. I don't need to hear it. Okay? I completely understand that, some people get a little bit, flustered when they run into someone who they've always wanted to meet. And it is rather irritating, okay? I really don't mind if you guys want to praise me slightly and just go, your videos are cool, dude. I don't mind that. I don't mind if you want to take, one video and talk to me at short length about it. But please, I don't need to go through a 45-minute talk or a 50-minute text back and forth about how these 6 videos were the things which changed your life. If my videos have changed your life, that's rather frightening, okay? At least to me it is rather frightening. See, guys, when I am on Skype, and you can ask anyone who I've talked to on Skype, I'm not there to talk about me. I'm not there to have my fucking ego stroked. I'm there to talk to other people and to have fun. I'm there to talk about almost any topic that is put in front of me, be it video games, wrestling, anime, movies, you fucking name it, I am willing to talk about it. I have even talked politics in some of these things, and I never thought I'd actually get to talk politics on the internet with people who actually seem to be mildly intelligent. Because that usually is saved for the, quote, blogosphere. And I'm not part of that stupid shit. So, once more, if you guys really do want to talk to me on Skype, awesome, but please please, I'm begging you, just keep all the praise and all of the hero worship to a minimum, because it's going to put a whole lot of stress on me, and at some point I'm probably going to snap and tell one of you to just fuck off, and then you're going to be really pissed at me. If I just warn you now, it might, keep you from doing it in the future. Overall, I'm just asking my fucking fanboys to please attempt to change, because even though I can't beg, robots and Trekkies to change, because I'm not any major part of either of those, you guys are fanboys to me, and I'm really hoping that you listen to me. I don't want fanboys, I want fans. I want people who are logical, sensible, people who don't take this shit excessively serious, okay? I really hope that I have gotten through to you, and if all of a sudden you just fucking despise me and you want nothing to do with me, that's fine, okay? Fuck ya, I don't need a fanboy following me and stalking me. So, now that I've thoroughly pissed off at least a dozen people, until next time, folks, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for an epic rant. And tonight's epic rant is going to be a little bit more serious than my usual fare, Tonight I'm talking about something that has become a little bit of a problem in the last couple of weeks. Even though it's been a problem that has, been plaguing YouTube for a few years now, it seems to have reared its ugly head in a horrible way in just, like I said, the last few weeks. Talking about false copyright claims. See, guys, YouTube has this really bizarre system for copyright claims. Because where other organizations would actually investigate these things prior to enforcing a DMCA claim, YouTube doesn't, which leads to videos and channels getting shut down due to copyright claims that have no bearing. If you want a really good example, Random DCE, a friend of mine, as I mentioned in my previous video, he had his channel taken down because Sega, or somebody posing as Sega, had a bunch of his videos pulled. One of them is the one that I uploaded right here on my channel. And a lot of you have watched it and you've wondered what the hell happened here. How could YouTube remove that for copyright infringement? There's nothing there. And that's kind of the point. YouTube has done this countless times. In fact, my old channel was actually a victim of this. Why? Oh, because a video that's a whole lot like this one. It's just me talking on camera. The only difference was I had a really god-awful web, cam, and I was in my living room instead of in my, studio in front of a green screen. And that video somehow violated a claim by Fox, which I'm still pissed off about. So, let's see. Then there was, at least just recently, Big Al Forever 2K6, and Big Al's another friend of mine, as well as a handful of other channels that are actually associated with him, be they his friend Subrick, or just a handful of copyright, or not copyright, but commentary channels, were all pulled by some entity called Greenlight Studios. Yeah. Now, here, folks, is where the problem lies. You see, none of these claims are in any way valid, and I hear stories from people almost every day about them having a video pulled or having their channel taken down because of some bogus copyright claim that YouTube refuses to investigate. Now, guys, let me give you guys a little bit of insight on YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google. Google is $1 billion company. Are you telling me that they cannot set aside a few $1 million to hire maybe a few hundred people to actually investigate these claims before enforcing them? Are you telling me that it's too
difficult for them to maybe just, pile up all of these videos and leave them up until they have been proven to have violated a copyright or not? Come on, guys. It can't be that freaking hard. It can't be. Come on. Anybody with any common sense can tell whether or not a video is violating a copyright or not. It's freaking true. Trust me on this. And yet, YouTube refuses to do anything about it. And it drives me absolutely insane. Come on, guys. You could go to almost any other video sharing site. Most of them will actually investigate a copyright claim before, just blindly taking videos down. And I don't want to hear that it is because they don't have nearly as many videos uploaded as YouTube or they don't have as many copyright claims. That excuse doesn't hold water. Okay? Let me just tell you guys. Like I said, Google is a billion-dollar company. Alright? Their stock, I believe, is moderately valued. So they are making money every single day. So why can't they, go and hire a handful of people to actually investigate these claims? Because, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, if YouTube continues to just blindly take down videos, something horrible is going to happen, and it's not going to make anybody happy. You see, guys, I am going to give you the worst case scenario here. Let's say somebody has their video taken down because of a bogus copyright claim. Now, let's say that this person is ridiculously, sue happy. They love to sue people over the most frivolous stuff. All of a sudden now, they see YouTube, and they see dollar signs. Why? Because YouTube pulled down their video. So now they are going to go after you for everything they possibly can. Everything from defamation of character, because those little pink boxes at the top essentially announce that you are a criminal for violating a copyright. It doesn't really directly say that, but that's usually the implication. So there's that. There is of course following through with a false copyright claim, which they could also go after the company that filed the copyright claim there. It's just a ton of different things which they can just stack up until this person's walking away with millions upon millions, all because YouTube and Google in general are too lazy to actually fix this problem. Which one would actually seem a little bit more beneficial to them? Spending a few million a year to actually have these claims investigated, or lose a few times that in one big fell swoop because they blindly remove videos without investigation. Just think about this. Let's say that you guys were running it. Let's say you guys were running YouTube. Which one of those options seems a little bit better for you? Mind you, if one person did it, who the hell is going to stop other people from doing it? What exactly are going to stop other people from suing YouTube for wrongfully removing videos? Nothing. So, again, YouTube could easily fix this, but they won't. And I think that we need to let them know exactly how we feel. Now, I usually don't ask this of, you guys, but I'm going to ask a favor of you. I want you guys to share this video. I want you to spread this video around, because if enough people see it, if enough people favorite it, feature it, whatever, YouTube might actually get the message. It's possible. So guys, until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care. I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and for those of you who've been on my channel recently, you might have noticed that one of my videos is missing. Yeah, in fact it was my most recent update video. Well, apparently somebody flagged that one for copyright reasons. And as I've stated in a previous video, this is a big issue when it comes to YouTube. They just opted to remove the video without even looking at it to see that I didn't violate any fucking copyrights to speak of. Now,
A lot of people are probably wondering if I'm going to file a counterclaim on this, or if I'm going to really worry about it. No, I am not going to fucking bother. Do you want to know why? Because I don't care about YouTube, period. I really fucking don't. I mean, shit, guys. This is one of the big reasons why I created my own website, was just that way I could get away from this shitty little hellhole that is YouTube. And you know what? Just to be totally honest with you guys, this is probably the start of something a hell of a lot bigger. I'm probably going to get 2 other strikes soon, and then I will be gone. And frankly, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's just one of those little sad truths that, you know, there's just nothing special going on here. So, yeah, this actually is just sort of like a heads up, guys. If you happen to see my, channel vanish at some point, well, you always have Winger Dinger, and I always have videos up over there. And frankly, Winger Dinger is a hell of a lot better than fucking YouTube anyway. So, yeah, just sort of thought I'd let everybody know that my channel could very easily be gone in the next few weeks. So, yeah. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and yeah, you guys are seeing it right there. That is strike number 2. I am 1 strike away from having this channel completely gone, and well, I just wanted to explain a couple of things here before I am, permanently booted off of this site. A lot of people have been asking me why I'm not going to file a counterclaim, and apparently these people have no clue exactly how the hell a counter DMCA claim works, okay? Now, filing a regular claim, just saying, so-and-so has, stolen my video, that's easy. Because you just need to provide a name and a fucking email address, that's it. And it doesn't even have to be your, real name, technically. You actually could just lie and make up a bullshit name. But in order to file a counterclaim, you need to give your real name, your physical address, your email address, and a bunch of other vital information that is then automatically sent to the person who filed the claim against you. If you think I'm going to give my personal information to some jackass just so I can keep this channel alive, I'm sorry. I am not bothering with that. I do not see the point in sending shit out to a fucking troll, okay? It's pointless. Now, perhaps maybe if, the U.S. copyright laws, at least when it comes to, DMCA, were actually intelligently done, I wouldn't mind. But unfortunately, with the current system, you are guilty until proven innocent, and you need to give as much proof as possible, which is complete and total bullshit. So, yeah, I'm probably going to get a 3rd strike real soon, at which point then it'll be 7 days until this channel is gone. I'm talking 7 days after the 3rd strike. So, yeah, guys, it actually has been a lot of fun. You guys still check me out over on Winger Dinger. I've actually gotten a few offers to join a few other channels around here, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to take those. And if I do, well, you guys are just going to have to find me, because I don't really want to make any promises here that I cannot keep. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it actually has been one hell of a ride, and I just want to say that it has been one hell of a great honor to be here for the last 2 years and entertaining you guys. I mean, it has been one hell of a fucking hoot, and I'm just happy as hell to have entertained so many people, and also in my own little, way, I'm actually kind of happy that I pissed off so many people too, because, well, I always like to piss off people. It's just a thing that I do. So, until next time, take care, and I'll hopefully see you all in the near future. Peace. Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and well, as promised, this is my little explanation video. I really hope that you guys don't mind the background noise. I actually have a fan going because it's hot as hell in here. Anyway, because there have been a lot of questions, and I promised I would explain myself thoroughly. From my last video, when I just kind of sort of a like offhand kind of way, I said I was done ranting, and a lot of people have sent me messages, and they have all these theories about why I'm not ranting anymore. And frankly, nobody really got the right answer. I mean, it has nothing to do with my shit getting hacked. It has nothing to do with my channel getting shut down. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just, it's not fun anymore. That's kind of my thing. See, guys, I've been making videos off and on YouTube now, across 2 separate channels now for over 4 years. So,
my personal rule is, if it's no longer fun, stop. Because, hey, this is all just a hobby. It is. I mean, hell, I actually could start doing rants again, and I could turn revenue sharing on, I could get paid for them, and yeah, it still wouldn't be fun, and I still wouldn't see the point to it. So, that's kind of, the thing. Unless my heart's in it, I don't see the point in continuing. You know what I mean? That's just me, though, is I don't see the point if there's no joy in it. See? Sorry, I got some popcorn in my teeth. Anyway, another reason why I'm not ranting anymore is just because, like I said in one of my update videos before this channel was suspended, was that I tried like 4 or 5 different topics, and I tried each of them a couple of times. I was trying to, formulate and get out there a decent rant, and I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't get the right stuff going, you know what I mean? It's just, I couldn't get anything. I just couldn't get any, thoughts together that would work for 10 minutes. Or, 7 to 10, that's normally my average. So yeah, that's kind of my thing, is that, I tried like a whole lot of different topics, and nothing really, worked, so, and since I can't think of really anything else to rant about, that's kind of another reason why I'm, hanging it up when it comes to ranting. Now, beyond ranting, a lot of people have been asking about the website, Wingerdinger. What the hell happened to it? The short answer is, it's hacked. The long answer is, it's hacked, and I have no way of getting in there and fixing it, okay? I mean, because when this guy went in and he hacked the website, he also changed my password as well as the passwords to numerous mods and admins, and according to what some people were telling me, he put fucking, like spyware and malware and other shit on the site, so it's not even a safe place to go. So, I mean, if there's anyone out there who actually knows how to hack and they want to go in there and they want to fix it, by all means, go right ahead. But as for me, I'm actually just leaving that site for dead right now. I mean, that's just me. I'm pretty much done with Wingerdinger. You actually can still find my stuff over on Blip. I'm still going to be putting stuff up here. And that's the one final thing I really want to talk about here is, what am I going to do with this channel now that, ranting has gone by the wayside? Well, besides the fact that I'm going to try to put up videos whenever I put something up on Blip, just so that then you guys know, since I kind of understand that it's sort of a bitch figuring out when in the hell someone puts something up on Blip, so that's kind of a given there. So if I put up a Long Box Chronicles or some other goofy shit over on Blip, I will make a video announcing it here, probably in the form of like a trailer, or maybe it'll just be a video of me going, yeah, hey guys, there's something new on Blip, go check it out. For those of you who haven't seen my stuff on Blip, honestly go, check it out, some of it's really good. Now, as for anything else that goes on this channel, I'm thinking about just doing like anything which comes, to mind. If I feel like doing a video about something, I might very well do it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a rant. It could just be me just, stating opinions, which, to be fair, opinions and rants are kind of two separate things. Some people have told me I should get into reviewing movies, I should get into reviewing games, I should get into doing this, and this, and really I'm not sure if those are really, what I'm looking into doing. I seriously am thinking about it. I mean, nothing is beyond the realm of thought outside of Let's Plays, because I'm not a fan of Let's Plays. I'm just going to say that right now. But if anyone has any thoughts or any, ideas of videos I can do here, let me know, and I actually will, think about it. And I actually do have a video planned out that I might be putting out in the next couple of days. It's going to be probably like one of the last things resembling rants that you guys are going to see from me. So there is that. So I just wanted to bring everybody up. I wanted to bring everybody up to speed. And this will hopefully clear up a lot of things that people have been wondering about me and about the website and about my future, yada, 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 yada. So anyway, until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.
Greetings, YouTube. Look who's back in the fucking house, guys. For those of you who don't know who I am, and you clicked on this video out of morbid curiosity or just normal curiosity, doesn't really matter, let me give you a little background on who I am. I was born Emerson Prevost. My friends call me Emmer, and on the internet, I'm known as Hellsing920. I was on YouTube for about 8 months last year, making video game reviews. I was entertaining the masses. People were comparing me to the Angry Video Game Nerd and RMake21, and no, I'm not kidding. I'm not fucking tooting my own horn. I was actually getting those messages. People were enjoying my videos. I had over 1,000 subscribers. Then all of a sudden my account gets banned because some needle-dick bureaucratic cocksucker over here on YouTube believed that a video identical to this one, myself on camera, talking, except I was answering questions from my viewers, that violated a copyright held by 20th Century Fox. So my account got shut down. I wrote to YouTube, I filled out all of the necessary bullshit to get my channel brought back. They sent me a form letter saying that there's some federal law that says I can't get my channel back. It was basically YouTube going, okay, sure, yeah, all of us fucked up, but hey, fuck you too. You know? I was pissed. So, where have I been the last 7 months since that fucking exile from this site? Well, I was over on a better web page. I brought all of my video game reviewing goodness over to livevideo.com. The link is right here. livevideo.com/Hellsing920. Guys, go over there and check it out and subscribe to that channel. That is where you're going to find all of my video game reviews. You're not going to find them here on YouTube any longer. Since YouTube opted to fuck me over, they burned that fucking bridge. But I now know you guys are going to ask yourselves, then what the fuck am I doing here? If I'm not going to do video game reviews, if I'm not going to do the epic interview, why the hell am I back on YouTube? Well, the answer's real simple. You see, there's a lot of things in this world that just absolutely piss me right the fuck off. Alright? This is everything from lame-ass sports, like golf and NASCAR, to gas prices, to our president, to the presidential campaign, everything. News, politics, movies, music, there's always something that's bound to just literally piss me off so much that I feel the need to vent my rage and my anger. So I'm coming here. Since YouTube wants everybody to make completely fucking original content, which is a good thing, and since I guess video game reviews and answering questions from other people violates 20th Century Fox's copyrights, I'm down to this. So, this site is my own personal soapbox. If anything pisses me off, I'm going to come right here. I'm going to be right here in front of this wall, guaranteeing that there's no fucking copyright violation of any sort. I'm going to wear the same plain colored t-shirts that I wore before to guarantee that no bands come after me because I fucking wear an AC/DC shirt or some such bullshit. Alright? I'm playing this son of a bitch all the way since YouTube opted to fuck me over in the past. Now, how often am I going to be posting here? I really cannot say. I really wish that I could, but since fucking anger hits at any time and a topic comes that one must fucking discuss, that's when I'm going to show up. And like I said, the topics are going to range from news to politics to stupid-ass crap that I found on TV to people who piss me off to people on YouTube who deserve to fucking die. Yeah, there are a couple of users I really wish just complete and total death. I'm not going to name names here. If I really do feel the need to, I will post a video about them. Every video is going to cover one topic and one topic only. If I feel obligated to tell you guys about anything, it'll be right here. Now, for those of you who don't want to see that, and you want to see all my old shit, like I said, livevideo.com/Hellsing920. I will continue to post stuff over there as well as right here. So, guys, until next time, I thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you in the near future with my first rant. God only knows when in the fuck that's actually going to be. So, take care, guys. Peace.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Hellsing920, and it's time for a little bit of a PSA of sorts. Because, see, I hear people all the time talking about YouTube and YouTube's problems, and I have got a couple of solutions for you. I want to show you how you can help fix YouTube or how you can help save YouTube, depending on how you look at things. Because, I'm going to say this right now, guys, a lot of people complain about little minor changes that happen onto this site. Everything from the channel layouts to the rating systems to some of you are going to notice this at the bottom of this page. Not this video, but the page. You'll see a little gray box. Really, really irritating thing there. You know, but some people say that each of these, all by themselves, have ruined the site. Well, if you feel that strongly about this, I do have a couple of tips for you that are going to help. Well, plus people also complain about who's the most subbed and who's on the most viewed list and things like that. I want to show you guys how to fix these problems, how you can improve the site without doing much of anything, really. You know, these are all real simple things. Step one, or rather option one, you can be more proactive. What does that mean? That does not mean you sit there and you leave comments on people's channels complaining about this stuff. Do something about it. Go and start a petition. Go and send a message to YouTube complaining about this. Do something that might catch YouTube's attention. And hey, who knows, they actually might just change it. But of course you'd have to, But you'd have to generate a huge following behind it. You can't just write to YouTube and go, hey, this sucks, and expect YouTube to fix it. You need to do something in order to get that ball rolling. See, and that's one thing that's always sort of bothered me, is that people will complain about the site, but they won't do anything about it. They won't make videos talking about how we have to fix this. They aren't going to write to YouTube. They're not going to try petitions. They think things like a one-day YouTube blackout's going to fix this. And to be fair, the YouTube blackout was a colossal failure, alright? For those of you who happen to remember it. And what was that blackout all about again? A lot of people didn't even know. They just thought it was going to fix all of YouTube's problems. No, it was for the channel layout. People were complaining about the channel layout, and they thought that one day of hundreds of thousands of people just not coming to the site was going to fix that problem. It was going to show that, that YouTube has to change something. Now that brings us up to option 2. Well, this actually is kind of like a subset on option 1. Tell YouTube exactly what you want changed. Because you can't just organize a gigantic boycott and not inform YouTube as to why you're doing it. Otherwise, they are not going to change anything, or they are going to attempt to randomly change something small in hopes that it's the one thing you're leaving because of. Okay? And that's sort of the thing, is that a lot of people, they have this sort of a knee-jerk reaction of sorts. And it just causes them to lose their mind, and they go, alright, blackout! And they barely tell anybody why, and it sort of collapses because of it. You have to be able to inform everybody what your problems are and how you want to fix them. Or how you want to show YouTube that you mean business. You need to be able to actually do this, otherwise it's going to go nowhere fast. Alright? This next option has to do with people who talk about the most subbed, the most viewed, most commented, yada yada yada. All this stuff. If you don't like who's on top, promote somebody you want to see on top. Okay? Because I have heard so many people talk about, YouTubers like Fred and Nagahaga and all these other people who are or were at the top at some point. And that's all they would do, is they would just complain, because they would say that these people haven't earned their spots.
Well, just sitting there and complaining is not going to change anything. Okay? If you want to see somebody new at the top, either do something that's going to catch people's attention, or find someone who you think would be good in that spot. Let me give you guys a really good example here. I'm a big fan of a guy who, he hasn't made videos in a while. Well, not seriously. His name is the YT Watchdog. The guy's videos are fantastic. And, hey, if he actually was still regularly making videos, I would happily promote him to get him higher on the YouTube ladder. But sadly, because of, personal issues and this and that, he's not making videos anymore, and it'd be kind of pointless for me to go and, promote him unless I know he's going to do something big. Okay? And you don't have to just do it on YouTube. You can go to message boards and you can go and promote these people. You can do anything. I mean, there are tons of ways that you can get people noticed. And it really doesn't matter if it's going to message boards or doing tribute videos or sending that person's videos to everybody on your contacts list. It's something. It's something that you are attempting to do to change, to attempt to change who's on top on this site. I mean, that one's actually kind of simple. Now, what if you don't want to be proactive? What if you want to remain cryptic about everything that you don't like about this site? What if you don't want to promote others, and what if you yourself do not want to try to catch people's attention and try to become the top dog yourself? Well, that brings us up to the final option, ladies and gentlemen. Leave YouTube. Yes! A YouTube partner is telling you if you don't like it, leave, and he's not saying it to be a dick. Okay? What I am trying to say is this. If you really don't like the way that YouTube is set up, and if you really don't like the site's policies, if you don't like this, and if you don't like that, the simplest fix is to go to another video sharing site. I mean, come on, guys. Just look at me. I mean, I have videos over on Blip because I don't trust them here. Because I don't like the way that YouTube deals with things here, so certain videos are over on Blip. I used to do it over on Live Video, but, well, my Live Video account was hacked, so I needed to go elsewhere. So, there I am. I am over on Blip. Check it out. And see, it's that simple. And there's tons of these video sharing sites out there. I mean, you have Blip, you've got Rever, you've got Live Video, you've got Dailymotion. I mean, these are all valid options that people have if they don't like YouTube and YouTube's policies and YouTube's layout. You can go elsewhere. And if enough people do that, if enough people go elsewhere, YouTube might actually attempt to make a couple of changes, provided, of course, that there are people here to tell them what has to be changed. See, that's kind of the whole chain here, is you can't just sit back and hope for change. You need to go about and actually demand it. See, it's actually that simple. And with that, we come to the close of this little PSA, and this will hopefully get a couple of you guys thinking about what you can do to help out this site, make it a better place for everybody, or it'll give you the resolve to go elsewhere. That is all up to you guys. And until next time, this is Hellsing920 saying take care. I'll see you all in the near future. Peace.